Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexiot's here. It is Friday, and man, is it cold. Man, is it cold right now. It is like minus 30 outside my house right now, and it is cold. I got all the heaters on, I got layers on, but man, is it cold this morning. It is crazy cold. All right, let's get right to it. We got a preview today for the Raptors at Orlando Magic. We're playing them. I think this may be one of the last times we play them this season. Of course, we beat them in a 2-game back-to-back in Orlando earlier this year, or no, in Toronto earlier this year. So we do have a winning record against them this season so far. So yeah, we're playing Orlando tonight, and it's on national television. We're going to be on in the U.S., and this is a cool thing. Last year, we were bad, so they took away one of our national TV games in the States. This year, we're good, so they added one. This game was not supposed to be on national television, but they decided the Raptors are winning and they're entertaining, so they're going to put us on against Orlando Magic. And in some ways, that puts a little pressure on these games because I feel like when we're on national television on the U.S. side of the border, that is one of those rare times where Americans get to watch us like across the country. And, they're so misinformed about our team and how we do. And sometimes I feel like when we get these games, we don't play our best, which sucks because then it reinforces people's negative opinions about the Toronto Raptors and if they really are very good or not. So I will say to this to Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and Brandon Ingram today, put your best foot forward tonight and show the league who you are. In some ways, I would say to Scotty and Brandon, I would say to the other guys, if you want more accolades and recognition, show them who you are today on this stage where you will have a platform where you will be on across the whole entire United States on TV tonight. Don't mess around. Seriously. This is like 8 Mile shit. It's like you got a chance, that lose yourself kind of shit. I would do the rap, but I don't feel like it right now. It's too cold. But I'm just saying, mom spaghetti, guys. It's mom spaghetti. You only get one chance. And in some ways, you get a chance like tonight. I mean, you could look at tonight as being just a regular season game and stuff like that. But no, why? Get up for this. Treat this game like it's a spotlight. Treat this game like it's a job interview. It's like treat this game like you are auditioning for a big part. This is what I'm saying. Don't mess around with this Raptors because we want to look good. You embarrassed us against the Knicks the other night. And in some ways, we got to bounce back from that. You look real good against the Thunder, but this time you've got a huge audience. So what are you going to do? How are you going to look? That's what we got to find out tonight. So, yeah, I'm going to do the injury report now, and we'll do the ref report too. And we'll get right into it. We did not get to the end of the stream yesterday. We had a Lexathon yesterday that went almost 4 hours, and we were in some deep topics near the end, and YouTube just went on the fritz. It went crazy. It did something different that it never did before to me, which was it continued the stream without allowing me to film anymore. And I was like live for another 15 minutes after I had quit. I was like, what is that? That's crazy. I figured out how to cut it off and save the stream. But yeah, that was weird. That was a weird one. Maybe I just hit the limits of YouTube live streaming. And they're like, bro, you've been on for almost 4 hours. We're cutting you off. Regardless, we did not do the classic card yesterday. So there will be 2 classic cards this afternoon at the end of the stream. So stick around for those as long as they don't cut me off again today. Jeez. All right, let's go right to it. Let's do what we do. All right, the injuries for the Raptors are very simple right now. It's still Yak and Chucky, and that's it. Clean bill of health. Otherwise, Colin, Jacoby, RJ, all back. And that's it. We're just missing Jakob, who will not play today, and Chucky, who's recovering from his meniscus surgery. Chucky Hepburn, our two-way. So that's it. We got the rest of them. So it's probably likely to be a notorious barbecue combo that's going to be served up as the starting lineup for the Raptors today. The notorious barbecue combo. That's right. That sounds good. Like if you went to a food truck, like Trevor J's food truck, and you say, yo, I'll have a notorious barbecue combo. And they're like, okay, Trevor, you should maybe make this thing a thing out of one of your food trucks. That may be something. I don't know how many Raptor fans are down there or they would get that. But if you called something the notorious barbecue combo, that would be an honoring towards our Raptors if you did that. Some people might get it. Like, what do you mean, notorious barbecue combo? What does that mean? Some people don't really know about the combo nickname for Colin Murray-Boyles yet, but people should know barbecue in Toronto and notorious BI3. You know what I'm saying? So, notorious barbecue combo is my speculative starting lineup tonight. It could be a notorious barbecue mamu also. That could be happening too. We could see that. It's definitely going to be a notorious barbecue dish. It's just, what is the last ingredient? Is it a combo? Is it a mamu? Is it a dick? Is it a notorious barbecue dick? I don't know. We'll have to see tonight when the starting lineup comes out. It's most likely a combo. Yeah, make mine a combo, Darko. Please, I'd like the drink and the fries. Make mine a combo, and let's supersize it. Yeah, let's supersize that notorious barbecue combo. Yeah, we'll supersize it. That's right. All right, let's go look at the other side. Orlando Magic have 2 injuries also listed on here. Actually, one of them is not an injury. It's just one of them's assigned to Osceola Magic, and that's our old friend Colin Castleton, who's a two-way for the Orlando Magic. We saw him in the last week on the bench, not playing against the 905 for Osceola Magic. So, yeah, Colin Castleton is on their team, and he's a two-way, and he will not probably be available for the Magic. And then the big one is Franz Wagner. Franz is out in the game against the Raptors tonight due to a left ankle injury management. And he's been missing a lot of games. I don't think he played in the games earlier this season against us either. I don't think we've seen Franz this year in the games we played against them so far this year. So that's pretty interesting to me right there that we have not seen them. Let me just go look at the matchup predictor real quick. And also real fast, they were predicting they're favoring the Magic. Wow, it's gone up. Yesterday was 52% for the Magic. They're saying now it's 54% for the Magic. That's weird, man. That's weird. Okay, so we only beat the Magic once so far this year. I thought we played them 2 in a row. Maybe that was Miami. Yeah, that was Miami. We beat them 2 in a row. So the season series is 1-0 for the Raptors, and this will be the second game. So if we win tonight, we win the season series. And then there's a third game in Toronto in March that will play the last game against the Magic. So the ESPN matchup predictor says 54% Magic will win. And I'm probably factoring in home court advantage. But I'll tell you right now, we should have some advantages over them. I'll tell you in a second. So I'm speculating the starting lineup for the Magic will be Jalen Suggs, who's back from injury. He didn't play in the first game against us this year. Desmond Bane in the backcourt. Maybe they're going to put Anthony Black in the small forward spot for Franz Wagner. He's been playing very big this year, Anthony. Paulo Banchero, of course, and at center, Wendell Carter Jr., the boyfriend of Angel Reese. And if you remember when they played here in Toronto, Angel was sitting at courtside cheering on her boyfriend, Wendell, and Julian was sitting with her, Julian Reese, in Drake's seats. They were sitting in Drake's seats. Yeah. Off the bench for the Magic, Tyus Jones, Tristan Da Silva, Jonathan Isaac. Mo Wagner is back. He is healthy. So Mortiz Wagner is available. Jace Richardson, the son of Jason Richardson. Noah Penda. Also Jet Howard, a couple legacy players there. Goga Bitadze, the friend of Sandro Mamukelashvili from a Georgian team. Also a speculative possible trade target for the Toronto Raptors as a third center. And that'd be fun to have the Georgian connection of Goga and Sandro on our team. I bet that would be fun for Goga and for Mamukelashvili to be palling around in the NBA on the same team. Also, they got Jamal Cain and Orlando Robinson. Our old friend Orlando Robinson is in the center depth for the Orlando Magic. Orlando on Orlando. Of course, it makes sense. So we'll see who they start tonight. I'm speculating it's going to be Anthony Black. So in the last recent games for the Orlando Magic, they have lost 4 out of their last 5. They lost 2 games to Cleveland in a row. They lost to Charlotte. They lost to Memphis, and they beat Miami last game. So they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. So Orlando's a little bit, and there's rumors that the coach, Jamal Mosley, is not seeing eye to eye with Paulo Banchero, that they are not on the same page as a team. And there is dysfunction in Orlando. That's one of the reasons why I think we are favored. We should be favored in this game is because we are a team that has very little social dysfunction on their team. But I've felt energy from Orlando a couple of years now where something's not right there. Something's not right, and it has to do with the coach. I know it does, and things aren't exactly smooth there. Yeah, so we'll have to see how it goes tonight. Yeah, the Raptors are not favored by ESPN, but maybe we can make that different than the reality. All right, let's do the ref report. First of all, in the replay center, and Secaucus being the watchers from afar, Brandon Adair, Eric Dalen, Jonathan Sterling, and Ed Malloy is in the replay center. So we can't trust the replay center because Ed Malloy's there. Oh, Ed Malloy. But on site, we've got some good refs. We've got some great refs today. These are refs we've seen recently. This is very similar to a ref crew we had just last week in a game. And all the games that these refs that are on the ref report today, the Raptors won all the games they've appeared in this year. This is their 9-0 perfect record with the referees. And two of them are ones that we just saw recently with Carl Lane in a game as the ref crew. So it's a very similar ref crew to one that we've had recently. This time the crew chief will be Brent Bernecki, the lawyer. That's right. We've seen Bernecki very recently. You guys know about Brent Bernecki, number 36 in his 16th season out at Hamilton, Ohio. His favorite TV show is Hardwood Classics. That's NBA Hardwood Classics. Favorite movie, For the Love of the Game. He likes to listen to Chris Botti. He reads the book Ego is the Enemy. His favorite meal is chicken parmesan. His favorite app is FaceTime. He'd most like to visit Italy, and his bucket list is to scuba dive in the Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, Barnecki earned his Juris Doctorate from Nova Southeastern University Shepherd Broad College of Law in Florida. He has experience as a civil trial lawyer, and Barnecki and his wife have 3 children. Yeah, Brent is perfect with us this year, and he's had quite a few games with us. He is 4-0 with the Raptors this season, including the last game we just saw him. Like, I think that game was, I want to say it was the last home win before we went on the road that he refed, but maybe it was the game on the road trip that he refereed. Either way, we're 4-0 with Brent Bernecki, and he's been climbing out of the bad side of the ref report because of this 4-0 this season. And we're 47% winning, which is better than it was. Trust me, 47% isn't still over 50%, but it's still pretty good. 40% wins in the career of Brent Bernecki refereeing Toronto Raptors games. And the Magic are not that good. In fact, this is their best winning percentage with the 3 refs, 37%. So 47-37 for the Raptors with the crew chief lawyer, Brent Bernecki. Yeah, that's a good sign. We'll have to see. The second ref is boy wonder, Andy Nagy, number 83, 6th season out of Toledo, Ohio. So we got a couple of Ohioans refereeing in this game. His favorite TV show is Seinfeld. He likes to rock out to Metallica. His favorite meal is filet mignon. He likes to listen to Spotify. He'd most like to visit the Maldives. His bucket list is to get a hole-in-one. And look at this. He's a barbecue expert. Well. You're an expert on Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly? Well, hopefully you know how to call fouls to get them to the line, Andy Nagy. That's what I would say right there. The Ohio native has 9 years of collegiate officiating experience, refereeing Division I men's and women's games in the Atlantic 10, Atlantic Sun, Horizon League, and Mid-American Conference, among others. Yeah, Andy Nagy has a perfect record with the Raptors so far this year. In fact, he has the highest win percentage with the Raptors out of the 3 refs today. We're 2-0 with Andy Nagy so far this season, and we win 55% of our games when he is present. So he's above 500, which is great. And, well, the Orlando Magic are one of the worst teams for Andy Nagy as far as winning. They do not win when Andy Nagy's around. They win 25% of their games, so 1 out of 4 games. So 55-25 is the split with the second ref, Andy Nagy. Andy Nagy. The third ref is not Dennis Schroeder's wife. Y'all keep saying this. I hate Dennis's wife. As Kareem makes crazy jokes. He's like, I hate Dennis's wife. It's not Dennis's wife. We know Dennis's wife is Ellen. It is not Jenna. But Jenna Schroeder is back with the Raptors today to be the third ref, number 20 out of Flint, Michigan, her 7th season. Her favorite TV show is 30 Rock, starring Tracy Morgan and Tina Fey. Her favorite movie is Dirty Dancing, starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. Her favorite musician is Bob Seger, so she likes that old time rock and roll. That's right. She'd like to visit Australia, mate. Her bucket list is to see Billy Joel, Eric Clapton, and the Rolling Stones in concert. That's right. A Flint, Michigan native, Schroeder played college basketball at Oakland University from 2004 to 2005 and Saginaw Valley State University from 2005 to 2008. She graduated from Saginaw Valley State with a bachelor's degree in communication. Yeah, I mean, Jenna's been good for us this year. She was not in years past, but she's been good this year. We have 3-0 record with Jenna Schroeder this year so far, winning all 3 games she's appeared in, including the last one with Brent Bernecki and Carl Lane. We win 46% of our games in the history of Jenna. She's climbing out of the bad part of the ref report spreadsheet too. And the Magic, once again, are really bad with the ref, 28% winning. So 46-28 for the Raptors with Jenna Schroeder. So this is interesting, man. This crew is a favorable crew for the Raptors. Of course, we're in Orlando, so the home favor may be a factor in this. We'll just have to see. There's a lot of signs that don't point to any kind of ref hit job on us, but because it's national television, because these guys have refed us and we've been perfect so far, they may want it to put a loss on that column for these 3 refs against the Magic for us. We'll just have to see. And also at the same time, improve the winning percentage for the Magic under these 3 referees. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. By the numbers and by the way I do the ref report, this is a good ref crew. But for some reason, I don't totally trust them. And in some ways, we'll just have to see in the game tonight. So there's your ref report tonight, y'all. I know that's something that some of y'all just can tune in for, is to hear the ref report and see what we're saying. So yeah, Brent Bernecki, Andy Nagy, and Jenna Schroeder are our crew tonight, and we are 9-0 record with those 3 refs this season. Could be a lot worse. It could be Scott Foster. It could be Ed Malloy, who's actually in the replay center. So yeah, let's read Trevor J's words of wisdom. The commissioner of fun, Trevor J, is a bench rockstone, cornerstone, keystone of this channel, a very important part of the structure of the team and the Raptor Freak family. That's right. That's right. Happiness doesn't come from escaping hard things. It comes from becoming someone strong enough to face them. You earn it by facing your demons, keep promises, and doing the work that no one claps for. Happiness is not magic. It's a mindset. Happiness is a choice, is what I've heard also. It's your choice, whether you want to be happy or not. You can make that decision every single day. Sure, there's enough stuff going on in the world that can make everybody depressed, happy, depressed, angry, mad, sad. There's all kinds of stuff out there that could get you dragged down if you let it overwhelm you. You know, happiness is a choice to go ahead with your life and make the best of it and find happiness in the little things and the big things and whatever things besides all the other bullshit out there that's the problem. I think that you need a balance of being informed and understanding what's going on and being ready and vigilant because of what's going on, but also finding and carving out your own little areas to find happiness. I think this is just part of keeping your sanity and keeping yourself healthy psychologically. You know, you don't want to go into these dark places and never come back, because in some ways we mutate as human beings and we become things that we should not be. Trust me. So yeah, find your happiness, safeguard it. And like Trevor said, hardships will come. And in some ways, you know, being able to deal with them and be able to figure out problem solving is a good way to get through the trouble. I appreciate you, Trevor Jake. Blessings to the Jones family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Happy game day. Let's get back to winning. That's right. We need to fix this. You know, Knicks fans, y'all are out of pocket. You did exactly what I thought you would do yesterday. You came to my stream, you watched it, and you wrote all kinds of trollish comments and all kinds of bullshit. And I'm just like, y'all, you just proved my point that y'all are bad winners. Like, seriously, y'all beat us. You should be happy. Why do you have to come to a Raptor fan stream and try and make me sad by saying mean things to me? I don't care what y'all think. This channel is not for you. And this channel is for Raptors fans. And the other thing I'll say to y'all proved exactly what I said yesterday, that y'all are poor winners, that you're going to have bad karma coming towards you because y'all don't know how to win properly like gentlemen and ladies. No, you are off the chain with your bullshit. And the fact that you go and look for Raptors content makers the day after you beat us just shows how tacky and lame you guys are. So yeah, expect your team to go flame out at the end of the year. Trust me, you will not be successful this year. You will not win a national NBA championship. You will fail, and everybody will go crazy in your fan base and in your media, and you guys will be toxic as fuck this summer. Trust me. That's what's gonna happen. There ain't gonna be no Thibodeau to blame this year. No, no, no. You're gonna be blaming yourselves, and you brought this on yourselves because you're poor winners. You're poor winners. You know, you should have dignity and grace and be like, yeah, we're confident in what we do. But you know what? You little trollish behavior and coming around and checking on me a day after you beat us. You know, in some ways, that shows your insecurity that you have to come and, push me around when we lose to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because that shows your insecurity. Because, confident winner doesn't do this. When we beat the Thunder, I didn't go to Thunder streams and talk all this shit to Thunder fans because I don't need to make myself feel better. But apparently Knicks fans need that because they came in full force at me yesterday. So fuck y'all. Two finger salute for the Knicks fans. They're losers because y'all don't have the confidence to just leave well enough alone. It just betrays you, you idiots. How loserish and you have to be that you have to come around and do stuff like that. Yeah, they said mean things to me, but I don't care because I don't give a shit what they think. I'm a middle-aged man. We don't give a shit what people think. We're not young and dumb. And, oh, no, people don't like me. I don't give a shit if y'all don't like me. Fuck you, Knicks Nation, and your bullshit. That was the public service message from the Raptor Freak. All right, Isaac's here. We the North. That's right. We the North. That's what it says on the wall. That's right. That's the flag. That's right. We the North. That's right. There's RJ. There's Lex. And there's Monique. That's right. That's right. A triumvirate of real ones for the Raptors. That's right. That's right. Oh, my gosh. I just got a warning from my computer saying it's very cold. All right, let's see. Fiercey's here. Good morning, MJ. Fast Fingers Fiercey. That's right. Our trivia leader for this season's Raptor Freak Trivia. That's right. Continuing to play trivia in the weeks to come. We got 3 more weeks of Tuesday trivia. I hope y'all enjoyed the Mark Gasol Classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. And his birthday was yesterday. We didn't get to celebrate it, but we did celebrate Mark's birthday this week on Tuesday. So happy birthday, Mark Gasol, yesterday. We got cut off before I could mention it again, but we celebrated his birthday this week. But be ready for more Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that and the Tuesday after that. So we got a full month of Tuesday trivia is coming up. So be ready, Fiercey. She's saying, good morning, fam. Happy game day. National TV. Let's go. I get suspicious when we're on national TV because the NBA office likes to show the American product, the American people, that the Raptors suck, and they want us to lose in these national games. Yeah, man, I get suspicious. I get worried. I get like, man, I get nervous about the national TV games because I want us to look good on there. I want us to have more evidence of being a really good team and them to see it. Because it makes me mad, the disregarding and the disrespect of the Toronto Raptors when people don't think we're that good. And I feel like sometimes when we get a national TV game, because we only get like 2 or 3 a year, if not like 1 or 2, that we need to really show well because it really does help the rhetoric and the opinions and the perception of the Toronto Raptors across the border, which they don't ever see us. And that's why we can't take these kind of games lightly, Scotty Barnes. Seriously, man. Do you want to be taken more seriously than Paulo and Franz? Do you want to be in the forefront? Do you want to be a slam dunk all-star no matter what? Because people will see you on national TV and tonight, and they will say, oh, yeah, Scotty's an all-star. Same thing for you, Brandon. You want to be an all-star? You showcase yourself tonight because it'll make you have more evidence to show the court of opinion in the United States that this is who you are. This is what y'all are doing tonight. Seriously, in some ways, this is way different than beating the Thunder in Oklahoma City on Sunday or playing the Knicks on Wednesday in Toronto, because this is a spotlight. There's a spotlight on y'all tonight. And I don't want y'all to take this frivolously. You need to take this shit seriously. And I don't want you to get extra nervous because of it either. I don't want y'all to be like, oh, no, we're on national television tonight. Oh, fuck. We better not fuck up, Don't get like that either. Don't clench up. Just understand the stage you're on tonight. Seriously. I want to reiterate this. I feel like you guys don't always get this when the national TV game comes around because you just are kind of like, I don't know, you guys suck sometimes on national TV. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This is just reinforcing all the shitty opinions about us because you guys are shitting the bed in a fucking national TV game on United States TV. Why are you doing this? They're watching us. I don't want that tonight. I want y'all to come out and kick ass, do what you've been doing recently where you get the lead in the beginning and just kick their ass. Have that 4-game winning streak on the West Coast road trip energy tonight. You're on the road, and the road record's good, so let's do this. Let's do this. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Jimmy's here. Good morning, Jimmy Pope. The Pope of Positivity. Got to grab this win. I agree. This is the last game of January, and our record right now is 9-5. Do you guys want to go 10-5 for January, or do you want to go 9-6? Well, one of them sounds way better. 10-5, winning 2 out of 3 games this whole month. That's what I want. So let's go 10-5. Let's get that 10th victory of January. And I'm looking at February when we flip this calendar, and I'm like, we only have 10 games in February. Let's see. This is one of the weird things right now is we have played way more games than a lot of the teams in the Eastern Conference because they jammed up our games ahead of time, and we get like more time off as the season goes on. And February is a light month. 28 days in February, we play 10 games. I know that the All-Star break is a big part of that, but there are also very big gaps between the games around the All-Star break also where we get like 3 days off here and there. So Raptors, you're going to get a rest month. Use it wisely. Take care of your bodies, but don't get out of rhythm. And like, honestly, sometimes the long layoffs can be bad for teams. So we just need you guys to manage things correctly. And February is a light month compared to January, December, and November. Those 3 months were jammed with games every other day. Pretty much. The average was the Raptors have been playing a game every other day since November, pretty much, for 3 months straight. But some relief and time off and more practice is coming up in February. And let's finish January right. That's right. Fiercely saying, Scotty, be great for. That's right. Show them why you obviously deserve that reserve spot on All-Star. Yeah, make Kenny Smith eat his words. That sorry-ass piece of shit, the Jet. Yeah, you motherfucker. You don't think Scotty's an all-star? Who the fuck are you? When were you ever an all-star, Kenny Smith? No, you weren't. You were only in the dunk competition. Yeah, with your little between the legs, turn around, I dunked it, jam. That's right. Scotty over Brick Chero. That's right. I like that. This is another thing. Like, let's showcase why you're different than Paulo. Paulo, to me, is just a scorer. He's just a scorer. He doesn't do a whole lot of other stuff. In some ways, he's very limited with his skill base, but he's talented because he's big and he can score and he's good at making baskets. But Scotty's everything else. He's a plethora of skills in all kinds of different ways. And that is a thing that you need to showcase against him as far as like, yeah, you can like Paulo, but hey, look, this is Scotty. And Scotty does the passing, the blocking, the steals, the everything. And Paulo, he may score. He may bully his way to the basket and make shots. But what else is he doing? I want you to put that on display tonight, Scott. In some ways, it's not about being the leading scorer and outscoring Paulo. It's about being that best all-around player that you are, doing your winning ways on defense at the end of the game, and helping people like Brandon and RJ fill it up. They can be the leading scorer. Scotty can be the glue, and Scotty can show the plethora of all the skill talent. It's like they used to have they probably still do. I don't watch baseball anymore. A 5-tool player. They used to call them 5-tool. He's got this, and this, and this. Well, Scotty, you're a 5-tool NBA player. And Paulo's like a 2-tool guy. So show that off tonight, seriously, because that's the big difference between the two of y'all. There's nobody else in the league like you right now, Scotty. So go ahead and show the difference. That's what I want you to show tonight. That's right. Jimmy's saying trade deadline approaching. Please go get a backup big, Bobby, please. Doug Smith coming out with the information in the last 24 hours to try and educate the fans to see what's going on. He doesn't think anything's going to happen. He said if something does, it will maybe be around this level. So I appreciate Doug coming out with his intel and making it public and letting people know this is what he's heard in an educated way so that the fans don't get unrealistic with John Morant craziness or any other kind of bullshit. I still don't think Giannis is actually going to get traded this trade deadline. I think that they're just utilizing it to make a lot of hot air. I still don't think he's going to get traded. And, we'll just have to see. No big trades for the Raptors. It doesn't make any sense. And Doug Smith's reporting that Bobby Webster is saying that he doesn't really want to make a move. He wants to go ahead and let this team do what they're doing and see where they go. And I like that. That's smart. Let let the team continue. If they're successful and they're doing well right now, let them continue. Why shake them up? Why do anything crazy? So we'll just have to see, Jimmy. I'm still okay with like a small move for a backup big, like you're saying here. But anything large like Demotis or anything like that, that's ridiculous and stupid. And we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't do it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep going in the chat. Let's see. We got Kareem Thomas is here. Jenna, fuck my life. Why, bro? What did she do to you, man? Jenna's been fine this year. We won all 3 games she's refereed this year. Kareem's the one who said, I hate Dennis's wife. It's not Dennis's wife. It's Jenna Schroeder. He's Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder. Different name. Get to the chopper. It's not a tumor. What happened to Sully? I let him go. Chill out, dickwad. Come with me if you want to live. All right, I gotta stop, man. All right, Seymour saying Suns Nick Richard is requesting immediate trade. Immediately, right now. Why? Why did these get what? Listen, there's a lot of people that want trades right now in the NBA. They ain't getting immediately. Who the fuck is Nick Richard? Like he's gonna get that right away. Come on now. And once again, we're not like humanitarian aid, the Raptors. We're not trying to save people. These people are like, hey, Demotis is over here. I want out of Sacramento, guys. Save me. He's like on a life raft out there. No, this is not what we're doing. Bobby's not like aid worker. Oh, no, there's a refugee out in Phoenix named Nick Richard. We better save him. Oh, my gosh. No, that's not what we do. All right, let's keep going. Keep going. Nick is 4th big on Suns rotation. Man gets no run and can hoop. That is questionable to say that. I mean, he's a big guy. He can rebound. You're embellishing, I think, a little bit. All right, I got to stop laughing. Keep moving, man. Fiercely saying ref report undefeated. We'll just have to see. The lawyer and Andy and Jenna. We'll just have to see. Brent Bernecki was very fair to us this year so far. Please continue that, Brent. Please continue that. KT saying, so wait, they rotate the same referees on the court as they do in the replay center? There could be manipulation and gambling. Even Tim Donaghy thinks this is suspicious. Well, there are referees that pair up a lot. Like there are certain refs that go really well together and they end up being in a cruise together a lot. But they mix them up. It's never like the same and it's different. But like Jenna and Brent were refereeing together in the last game with Carl Lane instead of Andy Nagy the last time we saw them. So they were a pair together in the last time we saw them, Brent Bernecki and Jenna Schroeder. So, it's different. I think that there's some of the refs are actually like road trip buddies, and they actually travel together and they'll go from game to game. And often, sometimes they'll ref a game in the Northeast, and then they'll go to the replay center and they'll be together in the replay center there too. And then they'll go referee their next game. It's kind of like the shift in the replay center is kind of like a different kind of work shift for them than a game shift, obviously. And, they come through and do those as they pass by from the games and where they are. Of course, the West Coast guys don't get to the replay center as much. There are referees that are centered more around the West Coast and more around the East Coast, so there are refs that kind of ref more in the Western Conference than in the Eastern Conference and stuff like that. But most of them do make their way to both sides of the nation to do games. That's part of what they do too. So there's a lot to it. Let's see. Fiercely saying this. I enjoyed the Toronto Tempo's content coming out yesterday. So hyped for the season to start. Fiercely Jr. has a big game tonight against former teammates. Wish her luck. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we're always interested in knowing how Fiercely Jr. is doing with her basketball career and what she's into and what she's up to. This is a good one. Yeah, she's playing against former teammates. Well, we'll just have to see. I don't know. Are you going to talk to her about smack talk? Maybe there will be. Maybe there's just respect and love. Hopefully, they're all good friends still. And it's just going to be a friendly, fun game like when Scotty plays Siakam or something like that. Hopefully it'll be like that. Yeah, Toronto Tempo dropped a 25-minute clip of Sandy and Monica doing questions for each other, talking about the Toronto Tempo inaugural season coming up and just general questions. And, man, it's tough, man, because I can tell Sandy Brondello is frustrated because we don't have players. Like, she wants to know who the players are. And like I said, this work stoppage is holding things up so bad. It would have been so much nicer if it had been like the Valkyries, who got to know their players the year before in the expansion draft in December, and they had all this time to work them out. We've lost like 2 months of working out our new players without knowing who they are because the work stoppage in the WNBA has not allowed for the expansion draft. And, Sandy, the way she's handling it is not ideal, but in some ways, I think what she's thinking to herself is that this is a really good, interesting challenge to get the players at the last minute and throw it all together and try and get the Tempo's identity and what they're going to do thrown together. They're doing a lot of work. Let's just put it that way. I get the feeling that Wright Rogers and Brondello have already got crazy big boards all over a whiteboard somewhere, and they have names and they have speculation of protection in the expansion draft and who might actually be available. And they're going through all kinds of scenarios and contingency plans and this and that. And then we got to also think about Sandy's ability to draw free agents here because of who she is as a coach. That's another factor that I think is an ace up our sleeve, because it may literally be an ace up our sleeve because she has a relationship with somebody who's a high-profile player in the league, because she is very good friends with Breanna Stewart. There's a lot of other people in the league that really have high opinions of her, that we may get some player that comes to us partly through free agency just because of their connection to our coach. So it's going to be, man, once they get the green light because the bargaining agreement's over and finished and fixed, they're going to run like sprint to do all kinds of stuff to get this team ready to play for May. That's the thing. This countdown ain't going to get any longer. It's going to they're going to try and start right on time. And this work stoppage has just made things so built up and not happening. And we're going to be ready. We're going to have to go right away. But yeah, lots of cool answers. They're talking about the uniqueness of having a Canadian team in the WNBA, the fun stuff about playing in 4 different arenas as home arenas this year, as far as Coca-Cola Coliseum, Scotiabank Arena, and then games in Vancouver and Montreal. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Check out the interview with Sandy and Monica that dropped yesterday. It's fun. And man, I'm so excited for them. I think that this endeavor is going to be really fun. It may be tough. It may be very challenging with different things, especially with this work stoppage. This is the first and one of the big challenges already. And then we'll see how it goes. And, well, we're with you guys. And that's one of the things they kept reiterating in their interviews. They're so happy to have already a very loyal fan base, because they do. That's the crazy thing. We don't have a single player. We haven't played a game. And there's already a very established, loyal Toronto Tempo fan base that is just waiting for this all to start. It's amazing. In some ways, people with the Raptors, sure, they saw the newness of it, and they're like, wow, this is cool. But they didn't really know basketball. And the way the Raptors came in as an expansion team in the 90s, it's different than this. Because in a lot of ways, because of the Raptors, basketball fans are educated now. And when we're coming in, the fan base for the tempo from the start is going to be very different than the expansion Raptors fan base. It's going to be very different. It's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait. And I'm sick of this shit. Fix this shit and sign the papers. Kathy Engelbert and Adam Silver. Quit fucking around. Give the players what they want. And let's get this WNBA season started up. Seriously, I'm sick of this shit. Fiercely saying, so tacky. Knicks fans, do better and be classy. They're just insecure. You can tell. The fact that they got to come and talk to me and say the bullshit that they say. It's like they're insecure. It's sad, honestly. It's like, why can't you be happy you're just winning? You beat us 3-0 this season. You should be so happy. But no, you got to come and rub it in. And it's really this fan nation that's been coming at me the most this year. It's crazy. I get different fan nations that come at me every once in a while. There was one really ugly Denver fan after we lost to the Nuggets without Jokic around New Year's. Yeah, there was one dude who came in like a total piece of shit. But other than that, everybody else has been Knicks fans that have been bugging me this year. And they consistently come by every time we played them. Consistently, every time. And it's just sad. It's like, y'all just be confident you're winning instead of looking like loser, immature children that have to come and troll after a win. I mean, that kind of action to me just it just tells everything about how much of a loser you are. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Neil's here. He's got the cat on there. What's the cat about? It's like every time he comes in, he has a different like totem. He's coming in with a different kind of like, is it like a mask? Is he wearing the cat mask today? I don't know, man. Either way, Neil, it's mysterious and I like it. It's cool. Yeah, let's go. Fiercely saying karma can come back at you in ways you don't want. Watch out. Yeah, I don't even like saying the word, but in this way, I think this is basically something that works with sometimes the favorite team in leagues like the Leafs and the Knicks. That these teams are the doted on teams in their leagues that get all favors, all kinds of stuff rolled out for them. The Leafs are like that in the NHL. Trust me. They get a lot of benefit of the doubt and a lot of extra perks that the Raptors don't get in the NBA. Let's just put it that way. And in some ways, the Leafs don't deserve it. They don't. I'm sorry to say this to Leaf fans that maybe Raptors fans also that watch me. You guys don't deserve it because y'all have been assholes and cocky and full of shit just like Knicks Nation. So that's why I say this is because like I really do look at these are the same franchises in their respective leagues. The Knicks and the Leafs are the similar kind of teams in their leagues. And that's why in some ways I don't respect Leaf Nation because they're cocky and they talk shit and they get way ahead of themselves before they've actually earned anything and had any success. And that shoots them in the foot. And that's kind of the same thing with the Knicks. Go ahead and get all crazy about an early pro season win in the playoffs in the first round. Get in the streets and act like you did the championship, Knicks Nation, and then get beat by Siakam in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, I'm just saying, Kareem saying this, I guess bring home Nick Richards, but that's after we exhaust all efforts in Gafford and Sharp. I think Gafford's a dead one. I know you keep bringing up Daniel Gafford, but to me, he's not worth it. I was thinking about it more with Daniel Gafford. He's actually more expensive than Day'Ron Sharp and Nick Richards, and he's kind of out of the price range. So I think you should give up on Daniel Gafford, the idea of him, because also he's older. In some ways, he gets more injury prone, and in some ways, he's not him. Let's just put it. I think Sharp is the right one if we can finagle that one. But Gafford's price is actually higher. It's weird. I thought that he was a lower paid player, but he's not totally. And he's maybe not in the right category for this. So I would say forget about Daniel Gafford, Kareem. Nick Richards, Day'Ron Sharp are still very possible. So is Goga. I think Goga in some ways, because we're going to see him today, and they have publicly said Goga is on the market. So it could very well be we're playing Orlando today. We're going to see Goga Bitadze. And it may be like Bobby's like, hey, you guys want to swing a deal for Ochai Agbaji? And boom, all of a sudden we make a trade and Goga's on our team as another Georgian big. Because we like having friends on the team. I'm telling you, Goga and Sandro are like this. They're Georgian national teammates, and they played a lot together. So there's also that. There's a knownness between one of our centers on the team already with that possible center acquired. So tonight, watch Goga closely because he could be wearing a Raptor jersey in the next 2 weeks. Watch. Seriously. Yeah, this is the kind of trade speculation that's actually concrete in reality and not just, oh, we want John Morant and all this stuff. No, let's think about this realistically and what is possible. And I'd say, you know what? Goga is possible. Goga is possible. That's right. Fiercely saying this. Don't be nervous, Lex. Let's manifest a great game and opportunity to display our talent. Why we're numero cuatro in the standings. Man, I hate that. We should have been like second in the standings right now. If we hadn't fumbled with the Knicks on Wednesday, man, we'd be up there. We'd be tied with the Celtics right now for second. It's annoying. It's annoying. That's why all these games matter so much because it's so jammed up. And we're tied with Cleveland right now. And I don't like this because we know we could start falling out of like home court advantage in the playoffs if we stumble a little too much. So we have to keep up our winning ways and what we've been doing because this is a long marathon. And, we could sprint and do well for most of the time, but we do not want to falter or fall down in the standings. We don't. We want to stay up there. There's a lot of people think that we shouldn't be up there and we're going to fall at some point. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to prove that true. I think that we can do this. And I think that Scotty's dedicated to keeping us up in the standings like we are in the home court advantage in the playoffs. So this is important. This is very important. Seymour saying this, 49 points by Cooper Flagg is impressive, but it was against the Hornets, my guy. Nothing special. Plus, this was a marquee matchup of Knipple versus Flagg, and this was such an overhyped thing. In some ways, yeah, sure. Maybe they're the two front runners for Rookie of the Year, and their head-to-head matchup as teammates from Duke. There's a lot to it that's fun. Cooper scored all those points, but he lost, and Con won the game. So, people are going to overhype things. The NBA wants storylines. They want things to talk about that are fun. And, this is something they decided on last night to center the whole thing around Cooper and Con versus each other last night. That's right. Trevor J saying, but some of the Raptors fans is just as bad as like New York fans. We lose one game and they just go crazy, very toxic about one loss. Oh, that's for sure. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about winning and being toxic. I'm talking about winning and be toxic. Sure, there's like Raptors admin pulling these things with like W's and goofy shit with SpongeBob after games on social media. Sure, we got trolls that come out and say stupid shit in comment sections and stuff like that. You're probably right. But I just find so far this year, at least from my experience and what I do, the most aggressive, annoying people in the NBA as fans this year is the Knicks fans. At some years it's been the Sixers fans. Sixers fans have been in here bugging us. We've had some Celtics fans interacting with us over the years too. They're different levels, but this year, and the thing I don't get is the Knicks are having one of their best years this year. Like they really do look strong. It betrays their insecurity, is what I would say. And that's what I would say to Raptors fans too. If you're going and trolling people after we win, in some ways it's not the best look. It's immature and it betrays your insecurity about our team. I don't do this. I don't go rub it in on other fans. I do have some friends that are personally fans of teams, and we may talk some smack personally just between each other. I have my friend Alan, who lives in Tallahassee, who's a huge Knicks fan, and he'll post a Knicks stuff on his page, and I'll come in, I'll say something in the comments just for fun, and it's all good natured. And it's not like we're mad at each other. We're just like, some of it is just like ribbing and joking, and it's hilarious. Like he'll say something hilarious that's crazy. Because part of what Alan does as a Knick fan, he understands the misery of the years of being a Knick fan. So he often makes jokes like, oh, no, it's all unraveling again. And like, it's going away. And he gets all mad and upset when they lose, obviously. And it's kind of fun to see him when the inevitable Knicks demise for the season happens and how he feels after that. But during the season, when they're winning, he's funny too. So, yeah, I mean, I would just say trolling and being a bad winner in general in the NBA is just don't do it. We're better than that, Raptors fans. Let's just take our W's and smile. That's what I'm saying. Let's just take our W's and smile, guys. Fiercely said this. Silly question. Do the players know ahead of time when they're also on national television in addition to their regular TV crews? Man, sometimes I wonder about what the Raptors know, because there was a time where they were like, they didn't even know if it was an in-season tournament game a couple years ago. Like, oh, we didn't even know it was in season tonight. Oh, yeah, you got the special jerseys and the court is out there. Yeah, it's in-season tournament, y'all. I'm pretty sure they know. I mean, they're like us. They have access to the internet and they get the news too. So when the NBA announced that this game would be on national television tonight, I'm sure they saw it too. So they should be aware. I mean, I hope they are. I hope somebody told them. I mean, it sounds like a silly question, but you got to wonder. I'm pretty sure they know. I'm pretty sure they know. Smooth saying Knicks fans can't help themselves. Well, okay. They should maybe call better help then. Call it on the phone. They can get mental health on the internet now. They don't even need to go into the office and sit on the couch. They need help. They need help. They can't help themselves. Well, they need help. Trust me. Reggie, if you saw some of the stupid shit they were writing me, you'd be like, yeah, they need help. They need help. And it's weird because in the last couple of days, you're showing like a Knicks fandom or something like that. Oh, I like the Knicks. The Knicks are this. No, they can't help it. I mean, I know you probably have connections to that city, and that's part of the reason why. But it's like, yeah, they can't help themselves. Okay, how old are they? 8? That's how they're acting. That's how they're acting. I mean, anyway, that's what I'll say about that. Jimmy's saying this. Ease Missy. Ease Missy. Okay. Let's see. Ease Missy and or Dayron Sharp. Come on down. I should really start thinking about Eves Missy because I wasn't saying we should look at Eves Missy because I didn't think he was available, but there are reports that New Orleans is making him available. Now that makes me have a red flag right there. Wait, he's not good enough for y'all want to hold on to him? What's wrong with him then? There's something weird here. Maybe it's because they got new guys like Fears and Queen, and they got different people, and they're going to pivot in a different direction. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dumb trades out there right now. S wants us to get Eves Missy. That idiot, he wants us to get Eves Missy and Trey Murphy for RJ. I'm like, fuck you, S. Everybody who's putting RJ in the trade machine can eat a dick. And that includes S, the friend of Samson Falk on Raptors Republic, you fucking douchebag. Seriously, everybody who's putting him in there. Yeah, I'm going to call people that want to even suggest RJ Barrett in a trade machine that you are a piece of shit and you are a traitor. And you are not with me and how we love the Raptors. You're not a fan like me, motherfucker S, because you would put RJ Barrett in a Pelicans jersey, you piece of shit. Real ones for their RJ Barrett, Mr. Raptor, Mr. 905, because he's from Mississauga. No, motherfucker. And you even do shit for CBL and a Raptors 905, and you fucking are going to put RJ Barrett in a trade machine, Estahir Barendi, whatever the fuck your name is, you piece of shit. Yeah, 2-finger salute for that motherfucker right there. I don't want Ease Missy to the point where we're trading RJ Barrett to New Orleans. Can you tell? All right, let's keep going. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying tonight's game is on Peacock TV. That's NBC. Yeah. So they're going to see it on the cock tonight. That's right. Seymour's saying this. I'm going to Earl's tonight. Steak bites. And the game better be on that bitch. Yeah. I get into this issue sometimes. Like when we had the ice storm last year and my power was out and I had to go to Wild Wings to watch the Raptors play the Sixers so I could see the game because I couldn't watch it at home because I had no electricity. I went to there and I asked them, I called ahead. I said, I want to watch the Raptors game at your facility. Okay, we'll put it on. I go there. They put it on for me like they promised. There's a bunch of jackasses in the bar complaining, why isn't the Leafs game on? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, I told them, and the lady was nice. The waitress said, well, this gentleman actually asked us to put his game on because he called ahead. And they were like, oh, what the fuck? Nobody likes basketball out here. Because I'm in the boonies. I'm in the fucking country now. And I'm like, oh, fuck this bullshit. I even got in a political argument with one motherfucker who was like a convoy person. And I told him at one point, I'm like, look, motherfucker, don't talk to me again because I'll get up on my stool. So I even got a fight almost. So this is an issue for me, too. So I can only imagine what it might possibly be for Seymour out there. It's a tacky thing that the Wild Wing only has one channel that they can play. You have fucking 20 TVs. Split it. Oh, no, our owner is cheap and he only has one box. So all the TVs have to be on one thing. See, that's part of the problem, too. You're a sports bar. People want to come out there. Maybe they want to watch different sports at the same time, like the Blue Jays, the Leafs, and the Raptors. So fucking split your box. Pay the extra price to fucking have that shit so you can please all of your customers and have the Leafs and the Raptors on at the same time. So we'll just see. Earl's is classy. Earl's has a lot of money. So I'm going to guess they could split their cable boxes and put on multiple sports at the same time. but not like Wild Wing out here in the country. Nope. But credit to the Wild Wing. They kept it on the Raptors dutifully to me, much to the chagrin of the other people there. But she closed the restaurant before the game was over. She's like, I'm sorry, it's Sunday and it's we're out in the country and we're closing. It's 10 p.m. I'm like, what the fuck? What about the fourth quarter? I had to get in the truck and listen to the fourth quarter, Jonesy and Eric Smith for the last quarter. So I hope they will put the game on for you. I'm sure they will. Earl's is classy. You're going to pay that price. You better fucking put the TV on the Raptors game. Isaac got the 5-man team of Lex in there. Speaking of Canada and great Canadian goods, and speaking of barbecue, I got myself some great Canadian meat. I know that sounds wrong. Classic jerky, and this is barbecue flavor. Guys, you can get Jack Link's. You could go Slim Jim. Oh, yeah, Macho Man. But you know what? Let's keep it in the country. And let's know the jerky company for Canada is the Great Canadian Meat Jerky Company. And they are very proud to be solely Canadian. And, this is the thing, man. Thanks for grabbing a bag of our iconic beef is what they're saying. And they're just really proud to be Canadian jerky for Canadians. So, yeah, you got options, y'all. You don't need to buy Jack Link's or Slim Jim. You can buy Great Canadian Meat Jerky. And I'll probably eat this barbecue one later on tonight during the game. Yeah. Or original or barbecue. I don't know. I'm going to eat one of them later for a snack during the game. That's right. So Great Canadian Meat. I know it's a little bit troublesome, the name of it, but you know what? Go get your Canadian meat. That's right. Make sure it's great. There you go. Straight goods on Canadian goods. All right. Reggie's saying Nick Richards is awful, terrible. You know, the one thing about Nick Richards that does fit with the Raptors, kind of like Goga and Day'Ron, is his friendship with Emmanuel. Did you guys know that Nick Richards is a Kentucky Wildcat and that he trains with Emmanuel in the offseason? So there is a connection between Nick Richards and the Raptors, and his buddy would be IQ if he showed up. Because I've seen a lot of footage of them working on in the offseason, Emmanuel and Nick Richards. So that would be the end there. So it's like if he shows up, well, that's a Emmanuel buddy. If we get Nick Richards, Day'Ron shows up, that's a Scotty buddy. Goga shows up, that's a Sandro buddy. So it's like 80s action figures. You buy an action figure and they got a little buddy that's in the package with them, like a raccoon or something. All right, let's see. Seymour's saying this. We don't need an all-star. We just need a big body that can clog the lane and rebound and box out and block shots. That's true. That's true. We're not trying to get a big name. We're not trying to get a huge contract. We're just trying to get some help with some physicality and size. That's all. That's all we're trying to do. Bomba Clot was out of here faster than a Jamaican saying Bomba Clot. You know, this is the thing. Everybody's like, I hate our front office. Why didn't they keep Bomba? Oh my gosh, you casuals. Like you know more about Mo Bamba than Bobby Webster does. Like you know more about Mo Bamba than Darko Rajakovic does. There's a reason this didn't work out. And honestly, it's the same reason it didn't work out in Philadelphia with Nick Nurse. It's the same reason it didn't work out in Orlando with that franchise that we're playing tonight. There's a lot of different teams that have had Mo Bamba on their team and it didn't work out. Is that kind of the more prevailing trend throughout the whole thing of Mo Bamba? There's something wrong there. That's what I'm saying. And people don't want to realize that. They think he's just a magic person. No, he's not. He's not. All right, here we go. We got Stargate on the phone today on a preview. What's going on, Stargate?
Hey, how's it going, Lex?
Pretty good, man. What's going on this morning on a Friday? Do you have a burning desire to say something?
Yes, I do.
I knew it.
I just called in to use one of your words.
Okay, can you get right in the phone because it got quiet all of a sudden?
1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Okay, to use one of your words, and I like extensive vocabularies. Mm-hmm. I want to opine on this whole trade thing, right?
Sure.
I don't know if you saw in the
Discord.
Trevor J.
It's all warbled, man. You're not coming through clear. I don't know why.
Let me call back.
back. Okay, call back. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It's like blah, blah, blah. It's just warbled. I don't know. It's got to be clear. It may be that he's outside or something's wind or something like that. It could be different things. All right, we'll try it again. Okay, try it again.
Is it better now?
Oh, it's way better. It's loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, before, I called in to use one of your words, and I like extensive vocabularies. I called in to opine about this whole trade stuff.
Sure.
Like, I don't know if you saw, in the Discord, the link that Trevor J put in
for Doug Smith.
Doug Smith, right?
Yeah.
And I did some clips and stuff like that. Don't be surprised if the Raptors don't do anything, eh?
Yeah.
Don't be surprised.
Yeah.
If they just
it's the same GM we've had for 12 years. I don't understand why everybody thinks he's going to be so different just because Masai's gone. Bobby is the same dude he's been for the decade or so he's been in charge of the team. I don't understand why everybody thinks he's going to be so different. All of a sudden, we're going to just do a whole bunch of stuff just because Masai's gone.
Exactly. To me, I tend to believe, I'm not a big fan of Doug Smith, but I tend to believe him a little bit more than somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure. I don't like Michael Grange, but I know that Michael Grange is somebody who's in the inside circle of the media with the team, and he will have information that is more likely to be accurate.
Yeah. So, don't hold your breath with Eves, Missy, and Nick Richards, and don't even Goga. Just don't hold your breath.
Well, he did say that if there is a move, it's likely to be something at that level. I think that's what he was saying in there. So it's like the other stuff is he was kind of debunking was stuff like Giannis and Ja and Domatis and Anthony Davis and just kind of going over each scenario. And part of it, what Doug Smith did was he just used critical thinking that we could all do and say, no, they're not going to get Anthony Davis. He's hurt. And it's like, yeah, logically that just makes sense. Why the fuck would we get Anthony Davis? It was like,
right. And if you're not going to get Giannis because they're going to want Scotty back.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
They're not just going to want Scotty. If we tried to trade for Giannis, they'd probably take 2 of our barbecue guys.
Right.
So it's
not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what Doug said. If there's a deal for Giannis, it's going to gut our team. And what he said specifically was that the Bobby Webster really likes the gains and the success we've had this year and how we've grown and the wins. And he's like, why would he just to sacrifice all that just to get Antetokounmpo to come here? In some ways, he wants to grow this gains and success this year and go forward with that because there's a lot of value in that. In some ways, you're cashing out when you go get Giannis. And also, Bobby, from what Doug's saying, is he's not interested in deals where you trade to get one guy and you're trading like 4 guys. Yeah.
And he's not going to do that. Bobby's not stupid. Like, come on.
Yeah. He's way smarter than most of the Raptors fans. And, he knows better, obviously, because he's right in the middle of it. And he knows all the intricate, specifics about, the salary cap and what's possible and what teams and relationships he has with different teams and what they're going to be asking and what they're going to want. Trade machine's real friendly and nice to make it all line up, but there's personalities involved in trading the NBA. And a lot of fans don't realize this shit, that it's like, oh, you could just trade and get this guy and this guy. And they're not going to try and fleece us in this. No, they're going to try and fleece us. Competitive edge in the NBA is important. And, some people don't even want to talk to us because, we got fleeced. We fleeced them. Like the Knicks are so cautious about doing deals with us that, because of Bargnani and other stuff like that. There's all kinds of different reasonings and things that happen. And Bobby Webster's job is not so clear cut.
Which brings me to the Knicks, right? Which brings me to the Knicks fans. You know what? Yeah. Okay. The Raptors lost to the Knicks. Okay. So what? Right now, the Knicks are playing better. They're playing better than the Raptors.
They're in a different mode than us. I mean, I made that very clear yesterday. They're championship or bust, and we are still in the middle of our rebuild.
It's okay. And, the fans acting the way they're acting. I'm going to tell you this right now. They better hope that the Raptors do not play them in the playoffs healthy. They better hope. Because if the Raptors win 2 games in the 7-game series, that team is gonna implode. I'm telling you, that team is on the verge of just completely imploding. You can see it. Well, they played well against the Raptors and stuff, but you can see that there's something not right with that team.
You know what part of it is?
Right?
I think part of it is that they did have a bad month of January and they lost a lot. And
Yep.
they just finally got some winning again recently with the win streak. And they're getting all big in their britches about it all of
Yep.
a sudden again because they were down and out and they couldn't do all their like that bullshit when they were kind of scared and a little bit like, oh no, now we're starting to slide. Now it's like we're losing more than we're winning since Christmas or
Yeah.
something like that. So now
I
they
wouldn't
feel
worry
like
about
things
that.
are righted up and now they're getting all like, oh yeah. I think that's what it is.
I wouldn't worry about the Knicks.
I'm
The
not.
furthest, they peaked last year. I'm sorry, they peaked last
That's
year.
interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting. We'll have to
Don't
see.
worry
We'll
about
have to
them.
see. Stargate, any last comments before I
Nope,
move on
that's
in
it.
the show?
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
I appreciate you calling. You know what? I think I might call your segment Stargate has a burning desire to say something.
Say something.
The burning desire. Bless, man.
All right,
Bless. I love you, man. And I hope you have a great
man.
weekend. Let's go, Raptors.
Let's go Raptors.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. We don't normally take calls on preview day, but you know what? For special Raptor freaks that are contributors to the channel regularly, why not? Why not put Stargate on right now? That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Smooth saying Nick Richards is not the answer, guys. He's really bad. We need a guy who can start and play meaningful minutes in playoff games. Jakob's injury is very bad. We're not seeing him for a while. He's Missy is the guy. You know, I don't know about Yak. There's been so much different information about Pirtle right now. Like there was a point last week where he was practicing again and he's out there and he's working with the guys. So it's up and down. We'll just have to see. We got to wish the best for Yak's back and kind of like let's start praying for him or like sending good energy to his back to try and get him right because man, we've forgotten how much he adds to our team in very good ways because he's been gone for so long and we're still being successful. But we have to remember the factor that he can be and also the stopgap for big guys running up roughshod over us in the lane and just dominating the boards and dunking on us and stuff. We need him. We need him. He's not expendable. And even though it's troubling how hurt he's been this year, and there's a lot of confusion about his injury and whether he's coming back or not, we got to have the faith. We got to keep the faith and just keep hoping that he'll be back sooner than later. It could very well be on the sly. The Raptors are cruising through the season with the development of Kyle Murray-Boyles coming up, and they want to get him more starts. And they may be like, we don't have to rush you back. In fact, it may be very smart to hold Yak out for a while and activate him near the end of the season and then like have him geared up for the playoffs and ready and in some ways not worn down from the whole season because he's been sitting this big chunk in the middle of the season. So there's a couple of things I could see that are strategy here. And you got to wonder sometimes, like, you know, Brandon could have played at the end of the season last year, but we held him out for strategy reasons or for no reason to do it because we're not going anywhere. Well, maybe there's some reasoning with Jakob right now that's besides the actual injury that has something to do with what I just said. Does that make sense? I mean, I've heard some of y'all kind of say what I just said before in chats. It's like maybe we're waiting for Jakob and we're just resting him and we're going to have him ready for the end of the year. You know, a little bit like, you know, they got a baby Joel Embiid. I heard Joel in his interview after the game the other day saying he doesn't take anything for granted because he's been out so much and he feels so lucky to be able to play and keep his health. I mean, Brandon feels the same thing too from being out for a year and his ankle injury. So yeah, you know, we'll have to see what happens with Yak. It is a big mystery, a big mystery. That's right. Fiercely saying, I mean, if Nick Richards is out of their rotation, this is clearly an indication. Hard pass. We have standards and we want good quality. That's what Fiercely wants. That's right. I'm with you on that. Smooth saying also, Richards had a handful of okay games with Charlotte and traded to Phoenix, showed nothing there. This is interesting. This is interesting. Yeah, he was pretty good for Charlotte as a serviceable guy. But once again, what you do in Charlotte is not totally impressive because somebody's got to do stuff in Charlotte, right? That's what I say to that. Kespra's here, the fact checker. Good morning, Kespra. Good to see you, man. Sixers I find similar to Leafs too. The Sixers are weird, though. I mean, you could kind of make that argument. The Sixers, to me, are not getting doted on the same way that the Knicks and the Celtics do. Like, there's a weird, if there's a tier of it, you know, the Celtics are probably really tied with the Knicks because both those teams are so important. They're the original teams in the league. They've been in the league the whole entire league. There's so much history between both. There's so much pride. There's so much this and that. And the front office wants the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks to be successful and keep going because it's good for revenue in the league, right? The Sixers are maybe a little bit of a tier below. Like they're in that direction, and they are more in that direction than we are. But also at the same time, I found that if it's like the Knicks versus the Sixers or the Celtics versus the Sixers will get the shaft. Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. You're talking about with the fans. The Sixers fans are weird. Like we've had a very good relationship with Sixers fans on this channel. When we played the Sixers in the playoffs in Scotty's rookie year, we had a lot of Sixers fans around the channel. In my first year doing the show, and they were coming in every day, and we did a celebration with them. Honestly, it was crazy. Even though we lost to them, and we were good sports about it, and they were nice to us when we got beat by them. They were actually really impressed with how well we played the Sixers in that series with Precious and Scotty in his rookie year. And we actually bonded a lot. We had a couple of regulars from Sixers Nation that were in our chat every day, and we were coexisting with them and just talking basketball, and everything was fine. We actually did a thing on this channel where I watched along like old Raptors versus Sixers games from the series between Iverson and Carter. And the Sixers fans came and watched it with us. And we kind of enjoyed the history between the rivalry between our two teams. So it's weird. In some ways, the Sixers nation is an arch enemy nation to us, but we've had good relations with them on the Raptor Freak channel. I think we've had more good Sixers fans than bad Sixers fans come through here. Because we had like Random Gamer, and there was a kid who was going to school who was a regular on our channel who went to university in New Jersey, and he was really a nice guy, and he was a fine. Milbester is a good example of a good Knicks fan. Milbester can come in here and coexist with us for years, and he's been all right. So it's different. We've even had a good Celtics fan at one point that was in here all the time talking with us. So it's different. I guess it's each individual, and we shouldn't lump everybody into one group, obviously. Smooth saying this. Maybe people like him because he has a cool name. I don't know. Nick Richards. Nick Richards. Is he like in the Fantastic Four? I feel like he's the fifth member. Is he like the real name of Herbie? That's Nick Richards. Herbie the robot. What? Reed Richards? Reed Richards, Sue Richards, Nick Richards. Like, is there a Fantastic Four character? He sounds like a Fantastic Four character to me. Like, what would Nick Richards' superpower be? Like the Thing or Human Torch? Like, what would he be? Is he an Iceman? Because he's ice cold from making shots? Oh, Seymour saying, I rely on Bobby. I believe in Masai. I trust in Masai, and I rely on Bobby. That's right. I trust in Bobby. I trust in Bobby. Bobby's got a great track record. He's not a rookie GM. Everybody thinks this is the first year Bobby Webster's ran an NBA team. You're crazy. You're crazy. Trevor's saying, I think we beat the Magic 3 times already this season. I thought so too, but no, we've only beat them once. We beat the Miami Heat 3 times. I'm getting confused with them too. You were at those games, Trevor. You went to the Miami games down there when we beat them 2 games in a row, right? We beat them twice in a row in Miami. On their own court, we beat them twice. It's crazy. Yeah, Danny the electrician's back. Good to see Danny, man. Danny is a longtime Raptor freak who's come in here and there. And just like our friend the plumber, we've got our tradesmen here. That's right. Scotty Barnes would be very happy to see the tradesmen are here and represented. That's right. Good morning, fellas. Good morning to you, Danny. Please be safe. I know you practice all the safety regulations an electrician should do, and grounding and different things for your own safety. We want that for you. I'm sure that it's a busy time of the year for you, because if anybody loses their electricity or have problems right now, whoa, you got to get there, because it could be emergency, because it's minus 30 here right now. It's crazy. Really good to see Danny back in the chat. Randolph's here. Good morning, Randolph Phillips. Let's see what Randolph's words of wisdom is saying this morning. We love this segment on the show. Blessings, beloved Raptor freaks family. Life sustained is life with purpose. Discover and fulfill your God-given purpose. You have worth and value. The way that society dictates to us about our own value is not nice. In some ways, it's a charade. It's a whole made-up bullshit thing. And, a lot of the thing is, like, if you're not economically successful, you deserve it. Really? That's how it is? Like if somebody's living in the street and they're homeless, they obviously are a bad person. Oh, you're living in your car in the park. You obviously are a horrible person to get to that point in your life. No, they're not. They just have had some bad things happen to them. It doesn't mean they deserve it. It doesn't mean that they should be looked down upon. You know, people that look down on people who have to live in parks, well, you know what? You're more likely to become like them than Mark Zuckerberg, just so you know. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. No, you're more likely to live in your car in the park, like the people you look down on. It's crazy, man. You know, we got to understand every person is valuable. Every person has skills. Every person has something to contribute to society. And it's not necessarily hours for a job for some employer to make money off of them. It may be in care for other people. It may be in philanthropy as far as your time. And I'm volunteering at this soup kitchen. I'm doing this. It could be that you're a great organizer. You have other personable skills that can be utilized to bring people together. There's all kinds of different ways we can find our full potential. And our full potential isn't for somebody else to decide what it is, because in some ways you don't know the stories of people and you don't also know exactly why they are the way they are. So I would say one of the sickest things about our society today is that they think that people that are poor or homeless deserve it and they're bad people. That is not true. They're victims of society. They're victims of a poor system that is not well put together. And in fact, if this was a good system, they wouldn't exist as homeless people at the park, would they? No, because that's a just society. We take care of everybody and everybody has a roof over their heads and they have food on the table. That's the right way to have life. But no, in our system, they lied to us and told us to look down on people that are like that when they're the same people like us. It's just that they've had a path that got them there. Sad. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. Blessings to Randolph's family. That's right. And his flock. That's right. Jimmy saying, nah, it's just because Queen is popping off that makes Missy available. See, that's what I'm thinking. That may be it. And Zion, are they going to still try and move him too? Is Derek Queen the future for the Pelicans? Maybe. And East Missy is not necessary. I like East Missy because he's just a brick. He's just a big dude. I shouldn't say a brick. He's just a block. He's a block. He's just a block of a human being. In some ways, he's like similar to Aiden Bona of Philadelphia. Just this really big guy that's got a lot of size and strength. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not against Steve's Missy. I don't know. We should go ask Brandon Ingram how he feels about Missy. He could give us a scout on him. Jimmy's saying, I'd rather not trade RJ, but that would be a great fit. Not going to lie. But RJ till I die, baby. Trey Murphy is a dog. Not going to lie. Yeah, but why mess that up? Once again, I'm not about this, man. I'm not selling out Rowan Barrett Jr. This dude wants to be a Raptor. We want him to be a Raptor. If you're a real one for the city and you see that it ain't nothing broke with him, it's not like he's dragging our team down or making us worse. He makes us better. So it's like, why do this? Why do people hate Toronto and so much that they do this? Even people who live in Toronto, like S. Like, why do you hate Toronto so much, S, with your bullshit and your RJ trade that you proposed yesterday? Why do you hate Toronto so much? That's what I ask. Some people say, well, you're just a homer, Lex, and you're like overly protecting RJ. That's a weakness. No, it isn't. No, it is not. He's strong and he is good for our team because he's quality control. Because if there's anybody on our team, we cannot question about what his motives and what he's doing for our team. It's Rowan Barrett Jr. I have no doubt, as much as we trust in Masai before and rely on Bobby now, I do not worry about RJ Barrett's motives, his drive, his ability to show up every day and put in the work to the right level to want to try and do the most possible to help our team win. Any of the other guys, at some level, there's going to be an increment that's a little bit lower that I don't trust them for how they come and approach their job working for the team and being on the Raptors. I don't question or worry about RJ Barrett and what energy and what his purpose and what his motives and what he wants for the Raptors. I know exactly what he wants because it's clear as day. But, you know, we can go through the history of the Raptors and all these franchise players like Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, Damon Stoudemire, and say, well, how did you feel about them and their allegiance to our team? And how they felt about our team. And to this day, Damon Stoudemire, you're cool. But Chris Bosh, Vince Carter, fuck you guys. with your bullshit, your fake ass bullshit. I would never, ever worry about RJ Barrett in the same way I should have worried about Vince Carter or Chris Bosh. That's what I got to say here. There's peace of mind in this. And as much as I love Scott, as much as I love IQ and Brandon, those guys are not going to have the same loyalty and allegiance like Rowan Barrett Jr. does and DeMar DeRozan. And I don't want Rowan Barrett Jr., RJ Barrett, to become the next DeMar DeRozan for our team. I don't. It would be weird and mirroring the time before if we won a championship just after we traded RJ, just like something with DeMar, that would piss me off and it'd make me sad. That's why I want him to be here. Because think about it, Raptors fans. We can win a second championship with Rowan Barrett Jr. on our team. That is huge Canadian heritage moment history. That's huge. That's what I want to see. This is the vision I have right now, is that RJ has a championship ring with the Raptors in his hometown, and he fulfills a lifelong childhood dream. That's what I want for him. But he wants him to go play in the Crescent City with fucking jambalaya and gumbo and voodoo. Fuck that shit. We want him in our city with the tower in downtown in the 6. That's what I'm saying right there. I mean, can you just imagine if we won the second championship and RJ's on the team? That makes this oh my gosh, there's so much greatness about that. So much greatness about that. That's what I'm saying, man. Trey Murphy won't care about winning a championship in Toronto like RJ Barrett would, right? Right? Kessler was saying most of the pro YouTubers, even ones I respect, or so I thought, always engagement farm on Twitter. It's disturbing. Love their content, but man, are you attention strap? I mean, I don't get this, man. This is why, in some ways, I'm a pure source, because I have no intention of caring about my clicks or my subscriptions or anything. I'm just what you see is what you get, and whether you like it or not, that I don't care. What you see is what you get, and I'm not trying to clickbait. I'm not trying to sensationalize. I don't have accounts where I'm just putting shit out on the hour just to have shit out. Some people are doing this because they look at it as their profession and they have to promote themselves and they have to have engagement. I don't give a shit about any of that. If you found me, you found this little bar down the alley in the dark corner that nobody knows about, good for you. You found the secret. I'm not trying to promote myself. I could go to the Raptors games and stand outside the arena and hand out brochures about my channel. And I've never tried to do that. I'm lucky if I even mention the people sitting next to me, I've got a YouTube channel. I sometimes forget. I don't want to promote myself or put myself out there, but other people do it. In some ways, that tells you right there what I'm doing is purely for love. There's nothing to do with that. But for it has to do with that. Let's get it right. William Lou's going to trot out a Gillette advertisement on his channel. Hello and welcome. What is it about? This guy right here can't be bought. That's the craziest thing about me. They tried to buy me. You guys would be amazed at the job offers I get in my email because of this channel and because of what I do. There are people trying to hire me to come and be a producer and be a host for all kinds of jobs across Canada right now. I do not even try. I don't care. I'm not trying to do that. This is what I'm doing. This is what I do. And this is not a typical job. This is not a job that most people will respect in a lot of ways, but I don't give a shit. That's why I do it, is because of pure passion. And I'll say, man, it's disappointing because, that kind of engagement that Kesper is talking about is toxic. It's toxic, and it informs the Raptors nation on their beliefs and how they look at things in ways that it's just not necessary. It's just not necessary. So that's what I'm saying. These guys can be content makers. They can be journalists. They can write articles. They can do all this stuff. But at some point, their own personal interest for that, it's going to compromise them. But not this guy. I'll do free advertisements for Great Canadian Beat before I'll fucking take any money from Google. I mean, I do take money from Google for super chats, but I shouldn't say them. Before I take any endorsement money or trying to put ads on here. They asked me to put ads on my channel. I do 3-hour streams. They'd love for this to cut in and put ads all over this channel, breaking up my content. I say, no, Google, I'm not activating the ads. I had people that used to come to this channel and tell me to activate the ads. And I'm just like, no. They're like, why not? You can make extra money. I'm like, I don't give a shit about that money. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the difference right there. That's the difference right there. Jimmy's saying, realistically speaking, I just depends on if the Raps want to pay RJ. I want to keep him, but it is a business, sadly. And sometimes you got to get ahead of that stuff. Well, I would say this: if he's not toxic, if he's the ultimate teammate, if he's the kind of person, as I described earlier, that has every single one of his intentions for the team pure, true, in the right place, and he's also willing to work with the team in the future, I say, why can't we have RJ be around our team like Steph Curry was around Golden State? Why can't we have RJ around our team like Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker were around their team? That's what I'm saying. Especially if RJ values being on the Raptors so much that he'll play for us for cheaper than other places, because he will do that. He said he would. He said that kind of straight up. He said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win. And that's not just on the court, in action on the court. That may be in some ways partially doing a Jalen Brunson for Toronto. Yeah. So I say, what is not to like about this, especially if you can get a guy that is totally willing to work with your team and he's all out for you? Because there's no denying this. In some ways, RJ doesn't have any bargaining chips with the Raptors because we know he loves us and we know that he wants to play for us. In some ways, that puts him at a detriment, in some ways, in negotiations. But also at the same time, it's a huge, huge plus. And it's something when you're figuring in the whole thing about what this player is and whether they're good for our team or not. These are intangibles. They're absolutely premium. Absolutely premium. The trust of knowing that this dude's got us no matter what is so important. It's so important because, you know, any player that comes to play for the Raptors, where does their loyalty start and end? And well, RJ's doesn't end. That's what I would say right there. It's the kind of thing where we're his childhood team. And I think that even if we shafted him like DeMar, he would still not hate us because he understands the part that you just said, that it's a business and that's part of the assignment with the whole thing. But why not fairy tale this? Why not give this a special status? Why not Steph Curry, RJ Barrett for the rest of his career with the Toronto Raptors? Other teams have been able to hold players for the whole career. Why can't the Raptors do this? Are we going to hear the noise just like they hear about Giannis in Milwaukee over and over again? Yeah, probably. But can we withstand this and say RJ's our guy and we have put a marker on him for the rest of his career? Because that's what I'd like to do. And I think it's very doable, especially if Rowan Barrett Jr. is willing to sacrifice financially to make it work for us to win. And he wants to be here to win. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Kareem's saying this, the segment on TSN with RJ and his old teammate who became a rapper who made an intro song for the Raptors is the kind of fucking content we love. This wouldn't happen if Barrett was not on the team. Man, yeah, there's been a lot of great Raptors songs that have been created by Canadian artists that I love, man. There's so many good, like Northern Uprising stuff, different stuff that they've done. Man, I love those songs, man. Yeah, it's the best, man. Kareem saying Nick Richards was a Wildcat, done. But if we can get Goga, I'd prefer that. All right, we're gonna do a poll. We might as well do a poll. You guys are all goofy with this backup center stuff, so we might as well do a poll. Let's see who we're favoring now. Who do you want? Who do you want? All right, let's see. No. We're gonna put in. We'll put in Dayron first. I'm just gonna put the first names. My keyboard is not right for some reason. I don't even know why. Goga. Okay. Nick. And then we'll put Eves in there too. Eves. Let's just see. Who do you guys want today? I think we've done a poll like this before in the past. We might as well do another one. All right, poll for the day. Which one of the 4 backup centers would you like? Who do you want? Oh, I put 2 A's on Goga. 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 Oh, man. It must be the cold. It's got me all delirious and crazy today. I apologize if I'm a little too much today. I'm just trying to have fun, and I hope you guys are too. That's all I got to say right here. Goga. All right. Let me see. Where are we here? All right, here we go. Smooth saying this. Yeah, Doug Smith was saying that out of the players linked to Toronto, Sabonis is the one that's likely. That's if the Raptors choose that path, the big names. Yeah. That's the one that has the most legs because Sabonis does want out of Kings. I think all of them do. I don't think any of those dudes on the Kings right now really want to be on the Kings right now. Whether it's DeMar, Russell, Dennis, Demotis, any of them. I don't think any of them want to be on that team right now. So it's not like that's that uncommon for Demotis. And then reporting, well, Demotis Sabonis does not want to be on the Kings anymore. Okay, take a number. They all don't. It's not like that's special. And once again, we're not a refugee service that's coming to save refugees on other teams. That's the other thing. So we do not owe Sabonis a damn thing to come and save him from Sacramento. And any fans that think, oh, we need to get Sabonis to help him. No, we don't. We do not need to do that. And once again, he wrote that part about Sabonis on that part, Doug Smith. And he kind of walks it back and he says it's likely the Raptors will not make any kind of big move. It's likely that it's more likely it's a small move. He says like 10% a big move, 90% a small move is what he said, something like that. Yeah. Jimmy's saying this. I don't know. I saw Yak smiling in the walk in photos, so I'm hopeful. Man, you're such an enigma right now, Yakapurl. You're so cool. It's like, dude, we just want you to be happy. I know if he could play, he would be playing. Or would he be sitting out strategically for the reason I said earlier? I don't know. Either way, you know, the good thing about Yak being out is the emergence of Colin Murray-Boyles and his ability to get starts. Because in some ways, if Yak was healthy, Colin Murray-Boyles ain't getting all these starts in his rookie year. So in some ways, that's a hidden benefit. So maybe Bobby's in the office thinking like, you know, Colin's been great starting. He's been manhandling people for his size. He's ahead. I love this. You know, Yak could be held off for a while. Dr. Alex. Hey, Dr. Alex, listen, you know what? Yak's back. Maybe it could be a little bit longer. Yeah, I want to see more from Murray-Boyles. Yeah, okay. Okay, Dr. Alex. Thank you. You're the best. Bye. You know, could it be shit like this right now that's going on with Yakapurl? Is the emergence of Colin Murray-Boyles has put him on the shelf? Maybe partly just like, you know, Yak, listen, you're back. It kind of looks like you're a favor in it right now. You know what? You go ahead and just chill for a bit. We're going to let Colin do some things real quick. Okay, Bobby, I trust you like I trust Masai. And then he's like, yeah, it's fine. He's fine. It's just that Colin needs time and starts. Maybe, Brian Winder saying this. Could it be that Yak is out to make room for Colin to be able to do what he's doing right now? Maybe. And the Raptors are still winning. That's right. Seymour's saying this. Jackson Hayes, and Carter Bryant have been added to the dunk competition. Nah, that ain't going to cut it. We already found out that Mighty Midget, I shouldn't use that word, Mighty Mac, little Mighty Max, Mac McClung, is not going to come back for the fourth time to compete in the dunk competition this year. He ran out of dunks, man. He was kind of already running out of dunks last year. You know, you can only jump over a car from so many directions, Mac McClung. And, well, he's not coming back. So it's in some ways – it's wide open for somebody to win because it's like maybe these guys were kind of waiting. They're like, what is McClung doing? Is McClung coming back? I don't want to lose to that dude. I don't want to be in the dunk competition if he's there. And in some ways, Mac McClung kind of had overtures at the end of the dunk contest last year. He's like, I don't know if I have any more guys because there is a limited amount of dunks that guys have in their repertoire. And the fact that he's a 3-time dunk champion for 3 years in a row is pretty impressive, even though he's a G League player. Yeah, those names are interesting. Like Jackson Hayes apparently did this amazing dunk in the Laker game recently where he put the ball between his legs in the middle of the game. And that kind of got him some notoriety. It's not a flashy name. Seymour's exactly right. This don't cut it. This is kind of like, oh, okay, Jackson Hayes, barf. That's boring. That's stupid. I mean, they asked VJ Edgecombe. He says he's not doing it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these young guys? You know, Kobe did the dunk contest. DeMar did the dunk contest. So many people did the dunk contest. And some of you youngsters need to come in and do the dunk contest in the beginning of your careers. But people like Ja Morant, VJ Edgecombe, they're selfish. They don't want to help promote the league and be a part of that legacy. Well, we get C, D rate players being in the dunk contest, and nobody gives a shit. And it just the prestige of it goes downhill. You know, Carter Bryant. Has he even been playing this year? Like, what the fuck? He's been hurt most of this year for the Spurs. And I'm like, wait, he's going to do the dunk contest, though? And the other thing I don't like about these two guys doing the dunk contest is they're tall. They're very big guys. And in some ways, yeah, It's not impressive when Jackson Hayes or Carter Bryant's dunking because obviously you guys can do it so easy. Man, the dunk contest is in trouble. I think the All-Star weekend is still shitty. It's going to be shitty this year, just like it's been the last few years. And they haven't fixed it yet. And it's going to be showing again like that when we see it. It's going to be showing like that, man. It's funny. Fred brought up, Freddie talked about going to the All-Star game when he was an All-Star and also when he did the three-point competition. And he hated that he did the three-point competition. He said he'll never do it again. And it was a total mistake. He should have never, ever did the three-point shootout. In fact, he's against that competition in some ways as the president of the Players Association. He's like, man, that three-point shootout, fuck that shit. It's kind of what he said on his Unguarded podcast recently when the All-Star weekend was brought up. Fred was like, man, my experience doing the three-point shootout was not good, and I wish I'd never done it, is what he said, basically. See, nobody wants to do the fucking events at the All-Star, and the game itself sucks because it's like 3 teams versus each other. Why the fuck is there 3 All-Star teams? Seriously, I think the best event at All-Star is now the Rising Stars Challenge because it's a mini tournament of the rookies and the G League guys, and that's at least kind of entertaining and fun. But the rest of the weekend sucks. It sucks. The second best thing may be the celebrity game at this point. Jeez, man, it's bad. Yeah, that's a bad start. Those 2 guys, and they're only going to have 4 people in the dunk competition. I mean, it's crazy, man. Neil's saying this. I said on X space to not bring back Jakob until next season, and people said I was crazy. If you want Jakob back, you have to let him heal, no in or out. Well, we don't have to go extreme till next season. I think we rest him for a good chunk of this season, and we try and utilize him for the postseason this year. Yeah, and we get a runway of games at some point near the end of the season, or if he comes back sooner and he can play a few months to the end of the season, that's fine too. It's just that the whole point is if he has a problem with his back right now, we don't want to wear him down so that he's not available for the postseason because the postseason is coming. And in some ways, Jakob Poeltl is going to be so essential and important for us to compete properly in the second season in the playoffs. Yeah. Kessler is saying, you created a good Sixers handshake culture here? That's amazing. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, we had like 3 Sixers fans that were regulars on the channel for a little while, and they were cool. We got along. There was a lot of friendly just going back and forth. But the one thing we always connected on is our love for the NBA. And just, they respect me because they can see I have a knowledge of the history of the NBA and of the game itself and how to play it. And then, like, we come together on that. And it's not necessarily about rooting for our teams because they could see me do a classic card and I get a classic Sixers player and I know knowledge about them. And like, oh, shit, Raptors Freak's all right. He actually knows about our history, too, the Sixers history, because I do. I mean, I'll come at Knicks fan right now and say, you motherfuckers ain't won shit since Willis Reed, Bill Bradley, Earl Monroe, Phil Jackson, Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere. Yeah, I'll go over your championship team. Yeah, because I know about how long it's been. I wasn't born when y'all won the championship in 73. So I could dump on you Knicks fans all over the place in all kinds of ways. I have respected your team in the era of Ewing. And, the championship teams you guys had in the 70s are awesome. Earl the Pearl Monroe is a great legend of the NBA that's underrated. And people should talk about Black Jesus more often. Walt Frazier's still around. He does your games. I met Walt Frazier once. He's a very nice man. Very, very nice man. Yeah. Cold reality, Lex. Truth. That's right. Save these takes. Somebody can clip me. Clip the hell out of me. I wish I had somebody who wanted to clip me all the time. And they're just like, oh, there's a nugget. There's another gem from Lex. I'm going to clip this shit and I'm going to put this up on TikTok or something like that. I don't give a shit. You can put me anywhere. I have no proprietary thing on me. Even if I say something stupid, you guys put me out there. It's not that I want to be promoted. It's just that sometimes I feel like there are little hidden gems in my 3-hour stream or 2-hour stream that if it's cut out and put on a small another platform, somebody would be like, whoa, shit, what the fuck is this show? And then maybe people find me or something like that. I mean, it doesn't even have to be about basketball. There's a lot of stuff I'm saying on here about world affairs that could be clipped out and put out there that people need to hear. Seriously. Seriously. So I'm all about that. I mean, I just don't have the time. I put a lot of work into this channel and all I do already by myself. You know, Trevor helps me a lot. Monique helps me. Nins helps me. There's been a lot of different people that have helped me with this channel over the years. Paul B, Tom Duke, you know, David, you know, there were a lot of Adriana's helping me with this channel. And it's just that there's a lot of work and I do a lot of it myself. And like going through and putting the chapters in the 2 hour stream and all this stuff, Tom used to do it. You know, it's a lot of extra work. I would go through my channel and my shows and clip out different little highlights of the show each day and put them up in different places to promote myself. But in some ways, I don't care about doing it and I don't want to do the work to do it. But if somebody else wants to do stuff like that, I have no problem with it. Seriously, I really don't. And you don't even tell me. You can just do it. Just take my shit and go put it somewhere. And it's like I said, I'm not trying to make a ton of money monetarily off this channel. I'm not really making any money off this channel. I do make some money, but I don't really make a whole lot. I'm not trying to maximize my profits or anything, you know. Let's see. Seymour saying this. If a player you don't like comes through, don't be a Will Lou and flip flop. It depends, man. It depends. You know, I hated Dragic as soon as I knew he was coming to us, but I knew he was ends the means to get Lowry where he wanted, and we got Precious. I always think that that deal was really for Precious, and I used to describe it as Goran Dragic was just the packing peanuts for our precious cargo that we got in that deal, even though he was most of the salary going the other way to help facilitate Lowry's trade to Miami. So, you know, it's a case by case basis. I don't have to like every single Raptor. Trust me, that's not part of my credo. It's basically if you're good for the Raptors, I like you. If you're for us, if you're loyal to us, if you actually respect the franchise and your post playing career, you know, there's a lot of different things that can factor in whether I like you or not, whether you're in the Raptors of alumni or currently on the team. You know, I found more respect for Bruce Brown over time, even though I wasn't thrilled about him being on our team for most of the time he was on it. But he came in as a true professional and he did everything right. So I have a lot of respect for Bruce Brown after the fact. And you know what? I'll celebrate him as a Raptor in the future because he didn't do anything wrong. He did everything right. He did his professional obligations for our team, even though it was uncomfortable. And even though he heard the noise with the fans, he did his part. And I respect the hell out of that. You know, I really do. I've grown to respect and love Bruce Brown when I was like, man, when we got him, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is all we could get for Siakam. It was a little bit like that, man. It's crazy. Let's see. Kesper is saying, shout out to Chris, Top Line Sports on YouTube, being one of the good Lakers fans that puts a lot of respect, positive, and constructive attention on the Raps. Yeah, I know about Chris. Chris has been around on YouTube for a few years now. I've watched him for a little while. Him and his wife came to Toronto and came to a Raptors game and experienced the city of Toronto and coming to the team. And they really loved their trip to come here and see the team. He is classically a Lakers fan, but he is very, very nice to the Raptors, and he's big ups us on there. So I'm familiar with Chris, and I appreciate him, and I hope he's still out there grinding and doing what he does for sure. There was a point in time where it was like me, Chev, and him, and we all had a Tallahassee connection, which was weird because Chris has got roots in Tallahassee too, and Chev went to Tallahassee Community College, and I grew up in Tallahassee. So it's kind of crazy that we got a Lakers freak, we got a Knicks freak, and then we got me, the Raptors freak, and we all have a tie to Florida in our past, which is interesting. But yeah, big ups and big respect to Chris. You're right. He is one of the good ones. And I'd forgotten about him a little bit because I don't see him as much posted in different places. But yeah, he's been respectful to our team for sure. For sure. I like the fact that they actually came here and went to a game in Toronto because they wanted to experience Scotiabank in the city. And they had a blast from what I heard. I remember that was a few years ago when they came to Toronto. Stargate saying, notice that the stiffest tree is most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind. Bruce Lee. I love this. This is the quote of the day. It's Bruce Lee today. Holy crap, man. That's cool. This is true. That's why being so rigid and tough on things and not flexible is you're going to get hurt. You know, that's why people snap because they're too rigid on things. It's like, I have to have it this way exactly. and then they snap into dementia like Donald Trump. And I see it in the yard with all the trees in my yard, the 100-foot trees. There are trees that sway and go with the wind, and they kind of feel the energy and they let it pass through them. If something's so like it's gonna break and snap, just like what Bruce Lee said, just like Stargate's quote of the day. I like this. I like the message you're putting here. I get it. Be flexible and be adaptable. That's the right way to do. That's right. Neil saying this: good players become available when better players squeeze them out. That's how we got Sandro, and can be the way we get Missy. Well, Sandro was a free agent last year, and he was on the Spurs last year. And they went in different directions. They picked up Kelly Olynyk, and they got some good center depth. They brought back Bismack. So Mamu was available. So I don't even know if that case is actually a good case of what you're trying to say here. But the East Missy one is. I think that you're right on that one. I think the East Missy situation is because of Queen. And it could very well be Missy was not available until Queen and what he did this year. I think that might be right. I think that might be right, what Neil's saying. All right, checking in on our poll, talking about Eves. He's second in the poll with 32% of y'all saying that you like the Pelican, but 58% are going with the net, Day'Ron Sharp. Very, very interesting. No votes for Nick Richards so far in what I see, and then we got a little bit for Goga there too. Keep voting if you want. We'll keep the poll open for the rest of the stream, and I'll go over the final result at the end. That's right. Infamous is here. Salute, freaks. The Raptors have a pattern of making small moves at the deadline and major moves in the offseason. I expect this to continue. One of the weird things that has been talked about in the NBA recently, and Fred talked about it on Unguarded, is that free agency during the summer is kind of over. The free agency period is not really where they do most of the movement anymore. They're saying that the trade deadline is the time where everything kind of happens now, which is weird to me, because maybe that's a manufactured thing by the NBA to want to shuffle up and deal a whole new kind of set of cards to teams all around the league to make it fresh for the second half of the season. But I would think that, once again, it's riskier to do moves in the middle of the season than the offseason. That why would teams be wanting to do more moves in February than in July? That don't make no sense to me. It's safer to do them when you're not playing and you have an adjustment and you can bring the new players in to do training camp. But Fred brought this up. He said that's part of the new trend is because of the new CBA and the pay scale and stuff like that, that in some ways the free agency market is tough and it's not really as active as the trade deadline now. I don't know. This isn't a trend that I like, because in some ways it's part of what fuels all the bullshit we're hearing in social media and in the press and the media right now around players like Giannis and Ja. And yeah, I'd rather have the offseason stuff happen during the offseason so that it's not such a fucking distraction like it is right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking right there. Jimmy's saying, I want them to pay RJ. They will. He's going to get paid regardless. It's just how much is what is what? Is he a greedy guy? Does he have to get the absolute most that he can get? Well, maybe he is going to be playing for somebody else. But if he values being at home, playing for his hometown team, maybe he's taking a pay cut like Tim Duncan would have for the San Antonio Spurs back in the day, because that's what matters to him. It's like, oh, so many millions? Well, I've got all these millions already. But if I want to get in that right point of meeting with competition and winning and getting my dreams fulfilled of an NBA championship with the Toronto Raptors and me on it, I might have to take a pay cut. He's going to get paid either way. He's going to get a good salary. It's just, is that extra $5 million worth it for having to go play for New Orleans instead? These are the kind of questions he's got to think about. And this, once again, I'll bring this up. Rowan Barrett, the father, he made it very clear to RJ that you're going to Toronto. This is the team we know you love because you're a little kid and you love this team and you grew up on this team, that you may get your heart broken by this team at some point. And RJ, and you have to be open and ready for that just in case it does happen. And RJ's like, no, man, I just want to live my dream. If that road comes to pass, I'll deal with it then. But in some ways, it's like, I don't want to say I don't want to be a Raptor just because I could get traded at some point and it breaks my heart. He's very brave and proud to be a Raptor. And in some ways, he understands this is a business and he understands this is a possibility. His dad warned him of this. And he said, "No, Dad, I want to play for the Raptors. I love the Raptors, and I've always wanted to be a Raptor. I want to see my dream through." Are you sure? Because you know what could happen. "I want to do it, Dad. I'm doing it." That's what he said to his dad, because they had this discussion. And a father cares about his son, and he doesn't want to see his son get hurt by an entity that he's beloved for most of his life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These guys, honestly, we're finding out more and more that these Canadian guys really are for the Raptors on the down low. There's signs I've seen from SGA recently where he really does love the Toronto Raptors on secret. And he may never play for us because he's the stature he is, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to want to keep him forever. But don't get it twisted. Even Dylan Brooks saying this bullshit about DeMar DeRozan recently, he loves the Raptors. On the down low, he loves the Raptors. It just manifests different as competitive, crazy shit talking. This is my house. Scotiabank Arena is my house because I'm from Mississauga and I just kicked your ass on the Memphis Grizzlies. Shit like that. A lot of these Canadian guys are like this. Zach Edey can wear a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey coming in the game. We know that these guys have a special, sensitive spot for the Raptors. It was evident from Kelly Olynyk, who's really a West Coast Canadian at this point. He did live in Scarborough, and he did listen to Chuck Swirsky on the Fan 590, and he did wear a Raptors jersey in the city of Scarborough, Ontario. But Kelly hid his affinity for the Raptors a long time while his career was going on, and jerseys in Miami and Boston, and being the arch enemy. And a guy actually was the one Canadian in the league I didn't like, but then he came to Toronto, played for the Raptors for a little while, and it was very much revealed just how much this was a childhood dream of his to put on the Raptors jersey. So I say, if Kelly Olynyk, who was a person that we hated, a person that took cheap shots on our Raptors like DeMar and Kyle in playoffs, along with Goran Dragic on the Miami Heat, he had a secret ambition and dream to play for the Raptors that was fulfilled. All these guys do. That's what I'm going to say right here. If they're a Canadian guy and they grew up around Toronto, more than likely they have a Raptors affinity, is what I'm going to say right now. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Infamous is saying, "I wish the Knicks fan came at me, Lex. I'm from the culture of roasting. I had many classic roasts on YouTube. Please, Knicks fans, come at me." You should make your own channel, Infamous, and say call it like roasting or something. Raptors roast. We'll call it that. Raptors roast. And you say, "Come on in." And I'm a Raptors fan. You want to roast me? Come on in. Let's see what you got. I'll give it to you just as good as you give it to me. I love that. I'd subscribe to your channel, Infamous, especially if you were in the philosophies of the Raptor Freak and the way you're passionate for our team and you stand for it. I love that channel. In fact, I could be a guest on your channel from time to time, and I'll get in on the roasting too. I love this. This is a great idea, man. You should do a YouTube channel. Seriously, do it, Infamous. Stargate saying, "Why can't we just be fans and stop trying to be armchair GMs?" Exactly. That's why you had a burning desire to call me, and that's what you said. That's basically what you were saying when you called me. Let's see. Kaloy's here. Good morning, Kaloy. I hope you and Santino are very warm and well. I think it will really depend on the team. This group needs drill down and have a consistent shot making outside from BI. I think if that happens, we keep and pay this core together. I think the core, the starters, is good. I think, like I said, Notorious Barbecue is a fantastic recipe and it tastes so good. Yak is a very valuable player. We've got him on a good deal. It's just about his health. And Collins a fantastic rookie. Now, for the rest of the team, I don't know what happens with them. In some ways, they have to earn their place on the team with consistency and showing that they're keepers, that we want to invest in you guys as young players that are on your rookie contracts, whether it's Walter, Dick, Abaji, Battle, all the rest of those bench guys. The starters are good. I say lock them in and keep them around. Some people say that they're too much. No, they're fine. In some ways, where we do things to shuffle up things is with the second team, the bench. We solidified those guys. We make little changes there that improve us and make us have more consistent contributors on a night-to-night basis to help have a scoring off the bench so that the stagnant offensive periods for the Raptors go away. That's the way I look at it as far as the further tinkering with the GM work for Bobby with what we got. We're good with the starters. I seriously think the starters are fantastic. IQ RJ and Yak have had all this bullshit put around their names all year. And I'm like, you guys are not right with this. No, Brandon's fit and worked really well. He's loving being a Raptor. And Scotty obviously is the center of it all. He's not going anywhere. So I say the 5 starters with Colin Murray-Boyles, those guys are off the table and we go forward with them for sure. But after that, all those other guys, in some ways, they've got to figure out how to keep their place. Now, I'll say Shed is also coming with us. I'll put Shed in that category with us too. So those 7 guys, and then the other guys, well, they're going to have to figure it out. And they're going to have to make it so that Bobby wants to invest in them at the next level. Because after that, I mean, that's how we can improve our team is our bench. We can make our bench way better. Our starters are good. I'm just going to say that right now. Our starters are good. That's right. Make one of the options none of the options. Chloe's saying right now, I hope the trade is only limited to the second team, Oshai, Dick, and Walter, and leave the starters alone and then assess in the offseason. It really, really is Abaji who is very much the most likely person to get traded from the Raptors. It really is. People say Emmanuel, Pirtle, all this bullshit. No, the one that's most realistic and most likely to get traded is Oshai Abaji. And if there is a move in the next couple of weeks, it's probably going to be him involved. Trust me. Just so you know. And I love Oshai. I think he's a great player, and I only wish the best things. He's always going to be a Raptor. We're always going to celebrate you. The Abajis will always be welcome in Toronto, and we will love to see you come back in all kinds of different ways, whether it's an opponent or also after your career, you can come back and get the waves and stuff. Oshai, you're good for good. You're good, man. As long as you don't do anything crazy on the way out or say anything crazy after you're about Toronto, which I don't see you doing because your personality is fantastic. You're just a great, amazing young man and a fantastic NBA player. And I'd like to keep him, but we'll just have to see how Bobby manages things and figures it out. In some ways, it's the move that makes the most sense to help with the cap, and also because of his where he is with his deal and what's the decision coming up this summer. Kesper's saying we avoid load management fines from the league with this stunt. Laugh out loud. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how you deal with this. I mean, we don't get in trouble for sitting Jakob because he's not an all-star. In some ways, that's one of the things on the download that works for our favor, not getting as much recognition on the Raptors because we don't have as many all-stars on our team. It's really just Scotty and Brandon, right? Because RJ didn't make the all-star team yet in his career. And, the rules about sitting guys consecutive games apply to all-stars and top-level players. So we don't get a lot of scrutiny for this. Scotty shows up for games consistently, and Brandon has been really wanting to be at all the games. And those are the 2 players that could get us in trouble with the scrutiny about load management and stars in the league, because that's what the rule is. Jakob is not in that category. So even if we were kind of holding them out in different ways, they wouldn't penalize us because he's not a star that people pay the tickets to come see, like LeBron or Luka. And in some ways, that whole superstar system of Golden Boys, it backfires for some of the teams that have a lot of those guys because they may get more scrutiny from the NBA about whether they sit them or not. The Sixers are a great example of this with what happens with Joel Embiid. They get in trouble for him all the time. They've had to pay fines for reporting injuries incorrectly quite a few times in the last few years with this new rule. It's very interesting. Stargate saying Oshai should enter then. The dunk contest? That'd be cool, man. I think he'd be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of different guys in the league I think that would be fantastic to do it, but they're too scared. It's like, in a lot of ways, I get it. There's more to lose by being in the dunk contest than to gain at this point. And that's why nobody wants to do it. It really went downhill. Man, what are the 80s were so awesome with Dominique and Spud and Michael Jordan and Dr. J and just so many good dunkers. And then Vince had his little spot in the history of the dunking. And then the most important stuff was that dunk contest in Toronto with Levine and Gordon in recent past. But most of the dunk contests in the last 25 years have sucked. Most of them. There's been maybe like 4 years where it's been good. And the rest of the dunk years have been shitty and stupid. People like Dwight Howard winning it and stuff like that. It's just, yeah. The dunk contest needs a lot of help, just like the game, just like the All-Star game. Yeah. Fiercely saying Ant-Man could do great in the dunk contest. So weird. Nobody wants to do it. Man, it's just they got to figure out how to entice them with the way to do it. I mean, obviously money is a good, easy way to do it, but Man, ever since John Collins did that weird plane stunt where his plane just embarrassed and humiliated him, everybody's like, oh man, we could lose so much just from being humiliated or embarrassed in the dunk contest, you know? It's so stupid, man. I wish these guys were more daring. You know, Terrence Ross, DeMar DeRozan, Serge Ibaka, these guys were all doing the dunk contest. You know, Terrence won twice. You know, DeMar never won, but he did it still. He did the dunk contest. And Serge did the dunk contest too at one point. Not a lot of people remember that Serge Ibaka was in the dunk contest as a Oklahoma City Thunder. That's right. Yeah. Imba is saying I was watching the Hawks game, and to my surprise, I saw Koloko playing for the Hawks in garbage minutes. This is sad. I may have been wrong about him. Shaking my head. What do you mean wrong about him as far as whether he's a good player or not? Or wrong about him as far as like why isn't he circle back, come back to Toronto? I don't know. Whatever you're wrong about with Christian, in some ways he's in that category that's like tainted alumni, somebody that I'm not going to celebrate to the fullest because of the fishy ass shit on how he left our team and how he didn't really circle back and want to be on our team either. So Koloko, you're not getting the Raptor card. You're not. You're not. In some ways, you made your decision, and in some ways, it's just like Kawhi. It's just like Kawhi, except you didn't get us any championship, but you're in that kind of status. It's like, man, I want to like Koloko. I wanted to have him on our team. He should be on our team right now as our third center, but he got stolen from us, and that's how it is. Fiercey's got our guy on blast, Jakob, and Neil's saying this. I don't want to risk Yak at all. Shut him down. Big men struggle with back and knee problems. Treat them with kid gloves to get them back healthy. We plan this playoff for getting experience. I still think that we want to have them out there because in some ways, what are you going into the playoffs without your best possible unit? No, you want to be fully healthy for the playoffs so that Bobby can truly gauge where we're at in competition. And the playoffs are a totally different season. We talked about this where it's more physical and you're going to have to rely on defense and big stuff more. He is absolutely essential for our playoffs. You could say sit him most of the rest of the season, but no, he needs to be back and ready to play for the playoffs. And we can't sit him for that. Why would we pay him $20 million for the season if we're not even going to utilize him in the postseason? That doesn't sound right to me. No, it doesn't. Monique is here. Good morning, the super fan. Monique Lawrence, the greatest. We love super fan. She is a shining example of how to cheer your team on in a positive, productive, and the right way. And we love Superfan Mo. Good morning. Happy game day, Raptor Freak crew. Dayron all the way. So she put her vote in, and 61% of y'all agree with her on Dayron Sharp from the Brooklyn Nets is the targeted person that we would like. Bobby, take note of our poll. That's right. The Raptor Freaks have our best intentions for our team. And, well, we're going to come pure and true with what we think right here. That's right. Neil saying Sandro was squeezed out of the Spurs. That became our blessing. You can get them in free agency or trade. Doesn't matter how, as long as you get them. I think in some ways, because Spurs fans wanted him to come back. And this is going to be interesting this summer because he's going to command a higher price because he jumped up in the eye of the NBA. Like he's come up to another level of something, and somebody's going to want to pay him a lot of money. I worry because Sandro could be snatched from us in free agency this summer because he has a player option for the Raptors for next year, and he could just take that money and stick around and be with us because he likes being on the team and he has loyalty to our team. That would be great. But talking to his friend Alessandro, it's like, he has a limited time to make money in the NBA with his career, and he's going to want to probably maximize it. RJ's already made huge contracts. Sandro has not. Sandro doesn't have these huge, like a $30 million a year contract yet. RJ does. So in some ways, he may be like more likely to take less money because he's already kind of banked a bunch. But Sandro has to get a big contract this summer. And I don't know if Bobby Webster is going to put that money out for him and how it would fit with our jigsaw puzzles. So he may be a one and done Raptor. We may really want to enjoy Sandro Mamu this season because he may be gone after this summer. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Fiercely saying most Canadians do value the Raptors. Not sure about Tristan Thompson. Yeah, I don't understand Tristan Thompson. He's a troll. He's a jerk. I think part of it was because he was around LeBronto and he was on the team with LeBron James when they were kicking our ass in the 2010s. And he comes from it from that end. So he's like, oh no, I'm a champion on the Cavs, and we own the Raptors. So I think that's why his attitude's the way he is, because he was on LeBron's team when they were beating the Raptors. So yeah, Tristan Thompson, 2-finger salute. Even though, you've done good things in support of Epilepsy Toronto, but still, Tristan, you're kind of a jerk, man. You're an asshole. And did you retire finally? Good. Good. I'm glad you're out of the league. Kareem saying this: if the Raptors were to ever trade RJ Barrett, one could only think we will be, don't say that word, like Boston. Man, your language is so negative, Kareem. You use GDs all the time and you're cussing all the time. And sometimes just the way you speak is such negative talk. I want to work with you, my guy. I want to reform your brain. I want you to get in a more positive mindset in general. I feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot in your life because your language betrays a negative mindset. I don't like that word. In fact, I have banned that word. I don't know how you posted it just now. Yeah. I don't know. Either way, I'm keep on going here. I'm gonna keep on going. Yeah, love your lives, bro. There you go. Real Seymour. Thank you, man. Is that Seymour in another account? Either way, respect. Love your life too, bro. Love your life. That's right. Seymour saying they want Missy so they can send RJ to and revitalize Zion's career. F off. RJ is untouchable. If RJ goes, I go. I'm not going to go if RJ goes, but I will be pissed and I'll raise hell. But yeah, that's an interesting theory. So you think that the Pelicans are targeting RJ because they want him to fix Zion? Once again, we're not trying to help everybody around the league with their issues and their toxic problems. If you have problems on your NBA franchise, the Raptors are not a utility for you to use to fix things, whether it's dumping a toxic player or getting players from our team to help you in your situation. We don't owe them shit. So we don't have to do nothing like this, is what I'm saying. Kesper saying, I could still remember there was one year the dunk contest was so bad. The camera kept going to Shaq disappointed face, and everyone was tweeting, tell Zach to step in. He's already sitting right there. Yeah, it's man, the All-Star weekend has just been not, man, there's different ways they got to invest in it better. It's too gimmicky, and some parts of it are just outdated and stupid. Maybe the dunk contest needs to be kind of shook up in the way that it is to make it more interesting. I mean, some people say less weird ass like stunts with props, too many prop dunks. I don't know. I don't know what would fix all this. I feel like each of the events have their own problems. In some ways, the 3-point shootout has been the most pure one, and it's kind of been the most steady, entertaining one in some ways, but they can be very boring too. I liked when they brought the WNBA player in. But see, this is the thing. The All-Star weekend can never be that interesting until they get more interested in riskiness. Yeah. And riskiness is what I'll say is, why not let the WNBA players be in the NBA 3-point shootout? Don't just do a fucking exhibition of Steph versus Caitlin or Sabrina. It was Sabrina, yeah. Steph versus Sabrina. Don't just do that exhibition. Actually, let the ladies be in the 3-point shootout and see if they actually beat the guys. That's so high stakes. But Adam Silver doesn't have the balls to do this because Adam Silver is a gatekeeper and he protects the brand. And oh, God forbid a woman beats a man in the 3-point shootout. That would do so good for you, Adam Silver. That would make the league more interesting and everybody would pay attention to it and talk about it. Even though you'd be like, oh no, WNBA players shot better than NBA players. Oh, we can't have that in the hierarchy of patriarchy and all bullshit. Do that. I dare you, Adam Silver. Let the women of the WNBA enter the NBA 3-point shootout and have everything exactly the same. And if they win, so be it. Let them. I say be daring and let the G League team play the All-Star team like you did one year where you got scared. You're like, oh no, what if the G League team actually beats the NBA All-Star team in the All-Star game? Good. Maybe they need that to happen so that they get embarrassed and they get shown that you need to come to the All-Star game more hungry and ready. You're scared of taking risks, Adam Silver. You're scared that the G League team might beat the NBA All-Star team or a WNBA player might beat an NBA player in the 3-point shootout. You know that danger and that risk is exactly what you need to go towards because that would give you what you want, you dumbass. That would give you the spotlight, the headlines, and the interest that you want back in the All-Star weekend if you were risky. If you took the risk, you loser. You're too comfortable and you have to keep. He's so scared that the world team might beat the American All-Star teams. He has to have 2 U.S. teams. He's so scared. You're a scared little boy, Adam Silver. And if you were protecting all your storylines, oh my gosh, the Team USA has to win at the Olympics every 4 years. Or what would that say about the world of basketball? That's boring. It was cool when Argentina beat the US in 2004 with Manu Ginobili. It's boring. You want all the things to be a set hierarchy, and you're so scared of losing to other things and having the perception be the NBA is not the best place in the world for basketball. Oh my gosh, Adam Silver, you pussy. If you had real balls, you'd do what I'm saying. Yeah, you'd let the NBA champion play the champion of EuroLeague, even if they got beat. That's interesting to me. But no, you can't have any kind of chance that happens because of shoe deals and apparel deals with Nike and all this other bullshit money that's tied up in this shit. What would they say if the EuroLeague champion beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in a game last summer? That's the thing. You have no nuts, Adam Silver. If you took more risk and actually put real competitions of risky competitions, people would be interested in that shit, and you'd actually get a bunch of money from it, and you'd actually make the world expand in different ways. Who cares? You know, the winning percentage of the USA at Olympics doesn't have to be 100%. You know, the big championship that you might do in the World Championship where you take the EuroLeague champion and you take the NBA champion and you take maybe an Asia League champion and maybe the Basketball Africa League champion and you put a 4-team tournament and then the NBA team didn't win. Oh my gosh. It's just like a ref hit job of the Knicks on the Raptors. You have to keep appearances and storylines. God forbid a foreign team beats the American NBA champion in a tournament of the world. You would never let this happen because you're too scared and you have no nuts. It's the same reason why you wouldn't let Sabrina Ionescu shoot in the three-point shootout. You're such a scared little boy, Adam Silver. In some ways, your innovation is where your fear lies. And you're getting what you want. Getting what you want for the All-Star weekend is where your fear lies. Because you just have to have control of the narrative and what the world of basketball is perceived to be. But boy, if you got out of your comfort zone, you might see a lot more of this. And you may be shocked at just how much more interesting the NBA would become if you didn't hold so hardline to your bullshit narratives of how basketball has to be in the hierarchy and the perception of the world. You betray your weakness and scaredness of this by denying any kind of real world championship, by denying the ability of the world team to be equal to the U.S. team in this All-Star weekend coming up, by denying the ladies of the WNBA a spot in the three-point shootout. Your fears are exactly where you should go because it would be really interesting and you would garner a lot more economics and interest in your team, and it would probably save the whole thing. Yeah, I'm just saying. I can see it. Adam Silver, whatever you're scared of, that's where you need to go. Yeah, let's go. Superfan Mo's giving me my cutoff. Yeah, I'm over 2 hours. I should finish up. W Stream, W Vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always. Lex, Raptor Freak Crew, strong forever, just helping me limit the comments. And I appreciate you for this. I need you when you do this. I really do. Isaac saying, I would rather play IQ at center with Jamal Shed on his shoulders in a trench coat than trade RJ. I love that. That's such a ridiculous comment. We're going to give you a dunk because that's fun. And I like it. And I agree with you on this one. I want to see the trench coat center than seeing RJ go. That's right. Isaac, you are going to Anthony Parker 18. There you go. You got that Anthony Parker. There you go, my guy. There you go. All right, let me check on my tabs. We're getting close to the comments ending here. Fiercely saying Friday freak out in full effect. Go Lex. Stick it to Adam Silver. Yeah, I guess it is Friday. This is the day of the week I'm supposed to freak out. And wow, what a timely all-star freak out. That was partly improvised. But you know what? I think I found gold. I think that my ideas are actually really good ideas, and they're just scared to do that. God forbid a woman wins the NBA three-point shootout. God forbid, Adam Silver. God forbid That would actually do a lot of good for the league. But it's male chauvinists that would think, oh no, we lost to a girl. And the NBA, they're suck. They're horrible. No, why not let them elevate it? They may not win right away. Maybe you let them go for a couple years, and then finally one of them does win. And then it's a huge deal. No, but it's never been about an even playing field, has it, Adam Silver? It's never, ever been about an even playing field in the NBA, ever, has it? No, it's not. And we know because we're Raptors fans. It's never, ever been about an even playing field. That's right. All right, let me get into my tabs some more. Let's do the Instagram stories. Guys, we had a big birthday yesterday that I didn't get to talk about, and it was Fred's daughter's Sona. She turned 8 yesterday. And he brought this up on his podcast earlier this week saying, oh, man, my oldest, she's about to turn 8. And it's driving me crazy. She looks so grown up. She's on his Instagram. And I guess she's into Japanese culture because they went to a place where they had all the cool Japanese like potato chips and toys and stuff. And she's into that stuff. And well, happy 8th birthday to my boss. That's what Fred calls her, the boss. She's the boss. Yeah, his oldest daughter is the boss, Sonny. Sona. I think it's Sana, something like that. I forget her name exactly, but she's, man, the time has passed. She looks like a kid. She doesn't look like a little baby anymore. And it's crazy, man. So yeah, there's the cool Japanese snacks that they had and they were getting there. Fred's got words of wisdom this morning. He's saying self-love poetry for thinkers and feelers. I finally found my rhythm when I realized that even the steps backward were part of the dance. That's Melody Godfrey. Wow, we getting some good quotes today. James Wade has got all kinds of action photos of him coaching the Raptors with Mamu and Mike Batiste and the coaching staff and stuff. It's just a photo dump by Coach James Wade. Different things. There he is with his son and Sandro going over some stuff on the computer. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. Lloyd is out eating in a swanky candlelit place. I don't know where he is. Lloyd. Why not Lloyd? Sandy Brondello got an accolade just recently. I think she got Australia Day Gala Award winner. So she got an award from the Australian Ambassador of the United States, some sort of award for being a great Australian in athletics. So congratulations to Sandy Brondello on her accolade. And Teresa Resch is putting her on blast. So is the Toronto Tempo, putting their brand new original Tempo coach, Sandy Brondello, on blast. Guys, they got the new Chinese New Year jersey for the 905, and it is fire, literally. It's got fire designs along the ends, sides of it, and it's a year of the horse. So it's like a fire horse. This is something on the download that honestly somebody needs to be collecting. There's so many cool specialty jerseys for the Raptors 905 every year. They have at least 4 of them. They have a Chinese New Year one. They have a Black History Month one. They have a Women's Day one. And you see these different jerseys. And the ones for Chinese New Year is usually the best one because it's usually some crazy design. So we're going to be seeing them wearing these in the next 2 weeks around Chinese New Year, Year of the Horse. And I say, man, that jersey is fire. So check out the new 905 Chinese New Year jersey, the Fire Horse, man. Those guys are going to look good wearing it, rocking it on the court very soon. Let's see. Jamal Shed is somewhere on a court. What is he in? University of Houston? Why is he there? Oh, he's bumping somebody else's. He's not in Houston. You're in Florida. What are you doing there? Chris Boucher got his hair braided up on his Instagram. That's interesting. Let's see. Kelly Olynyk entering the game wearing his Gucci T-shirt. He looks so casual, but it is a Gucci shirt. AJ Lawson putting a commercial up with him and Jack Armstrong. AJ representing Team Canada on that one. Mamu is celebrating one of his Georgian teammates who has gone into the top 10 all-time leaders in EuroLeague points history, and that's Torniki Shengelia. He's entered the top 10 in EuroLeague basketball points history, and he's one of the guys that plays with him in Goga. Yeah, Emmanuel Quickley is celebrating that his 2K rating went up yesterday. He got put from 81 up to 84, plus 3 points. A lot of the Raptors got bumped up a little bit. Scotty got bumped down 1, and the rest of them all got bumped up a bit. Colin, Murray-Boyles, Brandon, Emmanuel with the biggest bump to 3 points up to 84 rating on 2K. And it matters to Emmanuel. He plays this game. So this is something he will put on blast. There's a Siakam PS43 clip and it looks like one of the Siakam brothers, and they're just showing highlights of Siakam in his private life with his family at his house. He's playing the piano. There he is hugging his mom, hugging all the teammates, not the teammates, his brothers there. There's it's good life, man. It's a good life. There's Christian Siakam. It's a good life for Siakam. We love to see the good stuff. OG got the worker boots when he played against us the other night. And he's gotten it against us the last 2 times they played. They give boots and a hard hat to the best player of the game for the Knicks, the hard worker, kind of like when we give the chain. And well, OG got them boots again. And in some ways, it is special to him to beat his former team. I know it is. He's a competitor and he wants to win. And well, he's got a perfect record against the Raptors. So OG, we salute you. We love you, alumni. And if it's going to be somebody beating our ass, well, I'm glad it's a former Raptor like you. Malachi Flynn is full turkey now. He is draped in the Turkish flag. He has become a Turkish citizen, and he is now on Team Turkey national team, guys. Did you guys know this? That Malachi has gone overseas in the last year, and he's become like a god in the country of Turkey. And they've made him an honorary citizen, and he is now the main player on the Turkish basketball team. Isn't that amazing? Look, dreams do come true, Malachi Flynn. There's your Instagram stories for today. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. It's interesting. Malachi's like king of Turkey right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Sana. That's her name, right? Sana. Okay, I thought it was her name. Happy 8th birthday to Sana Van Fleet. That's right. Thank you, Mo, for the fact checking. I'm going to give you a dunk for helping me out with the pronunciation. I was pretty sure that was her name. I know that it's Fred Jr. and Layla and Sana. I think Sana is the right way to say it. I think that's right. Okay, so Monique is at the Colin Murray-Boyles 12 on her dunk chart now. She got 12 points on the dunks. Yeah, Sana. Yeah, we're thinking tonight's going to be a barbecue, notorious barbecue combo for the starting lineup tonight. We'll have to see. Let's see. Raptors Reddit, are you out of pocket? Do I even dare come look at you? I'm just going to move on. We don't need to look at them. Happy birthday to Sharon Wright. Sharon Wright was one of the first Raptors in our inaugural season. We got traded for him in the first year of the Raptors. He came on our team. And what happened to Sharon, he's out of Macon, Georgia. He got in a really bad car accident, and his NBA career was ended after that. He broke both his arms, a collarbone, and all kinds of other stuff. It was an accident in Georgia. And, he never really recovered from it physically, and he wasn't good enough to play in the NBA after he played for the Raptors. So he went over to China after he recovered from things, and he played overseas and all kinds of other places after that. He played in Spain, Poland, South Korea, Netherlands, all kinds of different places. So respect to original Raptor, Sharon Wright, who turned 52 today. And it's too bad he had that injury. He was actually really good for the Raptors in the stint that he played for us in that little bit of time there. And it's kind of sad that he didn't get to continue with us. Also, we got to say a happy birthday to the man who got burned for 81 by Kobe Bryant in a Raptors jersey, Jalen Rose. Yeah, Jalen Rose is not the most celebrated former Raptor, but we have to admit that he was a Raptor for 3 years on our team. He did play for us for a while. Jalen Rose played 177 games in a Raptors jersey. He started 137 of them, and he averaged 16 points for us. Of course, that was around Vince Carter's end of his career with us, and also with Danielle Marshall. So, yeah, we made that trade to get him. I think it was JYD and Antonio Davis to the Bulls to get Jalen Rose. But, yeah, Jalen Rose does not have any love for Toronto Raptors. He played for us for 3 years, and he would like people to forget that, honestly. So in some ways, that's why we don't totally celebrate Jalen Rose, because in some ways he's been a hater towards us. After he played for us, he's never said good things about Toronto in a lot of ways. And in some ways, screw you, Jalen Rose, and your weird-ass hair. But happy birthday, I guess, today. Happy birthday today for Jalen Rose. And then the most important birthday today for Raptors birthdays is the old voice of the Raptors. Happy 72nd birthday, the radio voice of the Chicago Bulls, Chuck Swirsky. It is Chuck's birthday today. He is 72. And get out the salami and cheese, baby. That's onions, baby. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Chuck Swirsky and whether he's a good person or not in different places recently. And I'm like, look, you know, in business, in media, There's a cutthroat business. And a lot of people said he was a jerk behind the scenes and that he screwed people over while he was working for the Raptors and Fan 590 and was just not a good guy. There's all kinds of things like rumors. They said that he cheated on his wife. There's all kinds of crazy Chuck Swirsky bullshit like that I've heard. And some people really hate him. And I don't get that. You know, I've interacted with Chuck Swirsky over the years in a couple different ways. I interacted with him on his radio show in the 90s, calling him on the Fan 590. I've written him emails and he's written me back. I've written him social media messages on Facebook and he's written me back every time. And every time he's written to me, he's been the most thoughtful, caring, nice, considerate person and encouraging. In fact, he tells young, aspiring broadcast people to reach out to him and he will mentor them and talk to them. So I don't get all this noise that has been hung on Chuck Swirsky as far as he's a bad person and he's a jerk and he's a fake and he's not exactly who he appears to be as far as what I see in the world and what I've interacted with him over decades. It doesn't add up. It sounds like somebody has an axe to grind personally with Chuck Swirsky and they're trying to make him seem like he's a really bad guy. Some people have said there's stuff on Reddit about this, but I don't believe it. And if there is issues with his personal life, whether he cheated on his wife or not, or he did this or that, that's his own damn business in his personal life. And I'm not going to judge him as a Raptors broadcaster or icon because of his own personal life, because that's none of my business. And so if people are judging him for that, or if they're judging him because they felt like he was a jerk to them in their professional life while they were around him as an intern on the Fan 590 or whatever, you're a loser. Taking down somebody, to me, is a Raptors icon, and it's too bad he had to go and work for the Bulls. He didn't want to do that necessarily. He wanted to stay in Canada, but he did go to the Bulls, and we did get Matt Devlin because of that. So happy 72nd birthday to Chuck Swirsky. I'm not with these people that have sullied your name and said all this bullshit about you because I don't see it. It's just like Pansera saying Fred's an asshole and a jerk. Sure, Fred is to a degree, but he's also a good guy and he's for real. And when I met Fred in person, he was absolutely the best. And everything I've done with Chuck Swirsky, he's been absolutely the best. So let's not believe the haters and the hype and the bullshit that people put out there to try and ruin people's reputation. If you don't know, you don't know. And in some ways, you got to go by what the person is. And I'm saying what I've dealt with Chuck Swirsky and Fred VanVleet, these guys are good people. But some people want to put them down and run them around and make them look bad. And I'm not doing that. Get your fantasy team set up. Yeah, we're getting to the end here. We got to do 2 classic cards. So let's get this going right here, man. That's right. That's right. That's right. Kaloy saying Grandpa Flynn will be so proud and Raptors will draft him too. Seymour saying, my comments ain't directed to you, Lex. I'm ranting at the casuals. It's all good. It's all good. I've not taken offense by anyone in the chat today, even if they came at me and said something. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. All right, we'll do this one. This is apropos. This is the first classic card today. This is the one we should have did yesterday, and we didn't, and it would have made sense to do it yesterday. So here it is, and I won't put it too close. In some ways, it's easy, but who knows? Maybe you guys can't tell who it is from that far. Can you tell who that is? It's an all-star card, which makes it very interesting. This is an all-star card from Miami in like 1990. Yes, Slug Deasy can tell from there, especially since we did a reaction to Patrick's team yesterday playing the Raptors. It is Patrick Ewing. And on my screen, Slug Deasy's getting it just ahead of Fiercy. So, yeah, we're going to put Patrick Ewing in there. This is a 50-point card because it's honestly, he's a legend, and everybody knows who Patrick Ewing is. So it's a 50-point card for Slug Deasy, the card makeup for yesterday. And we'll do the second card now. Let me get the second card out of the box. We got to make our quota. And if I get cut off early before I do it, I'm going to do it at some point. Oh, this is fun. All right. We actually got a Raptors card today, guys. We got a Raptors card on this. We got a Knicks card and a Raptors card. Why not? Here we go. You guys can tell who that is. He's not wearing a Raptors jersey, but this is a Raptors card, technically. Let's see who remembers who this guy is. See, there's the Raptors logo in the corner. Yeah, let's see. Knicks suck. They do. That's right. Okay, you got it. You're missing an S. Oh, she put it in. Okay, good. She came through and got it in there. She saw it wasn't there. She made sure it was there at the end. Jalen McDaniels is right. If you had said Jaden McDaniels, you would have been wrong. Of course, this is the brother that was on our team for a couple years recently. Jalen McDaniels. This is after he played for us in a Philly jersey. I feel like they do that too to shade us. They probably have all these pictures of the player in our jersey, but they want to go ahead and put him on the new jersey, and it's still a Raptors card. It's like so shady. In some ways, it's Jalen McDaniels. We don't care. You go ahead and show him in a Philly jersey. It actually makes more sense. So yeah, this one's gonna be 100. This one's gonna be 100, and it's Fiercey gonna get this one. Jalen McDaniels. So there you go. There you go. Do you guys want this Jalen McDaniels Raptors card with him in a Philly jersey? I'll bring it to the next Raptor Freak get together. Which, you know what? Honestly, guys, I should bring this up real quick. I'm thinking about going to the 905 game a week from this Sunday. There's the Sunday and then the next Sunday, or is it a Saturday game? I think it's a week from tomorrow. I'm thinking about going to the 905 game. It's Grand Rapids Gold versus the Raptors 905. It's an afternoon game on a Saturday afternoon. If you guys want to go to that game, meet me there. So I think I'm going to be that game. Yeah, I think I'm going to go next Saturday and go to the Raptors Grand Rapids Gold game, a 2 p.m. start, I believe. So just getting that out there. If anybody can organize their time and have the ability to go to that game, they want to be there, you can go ahead and join me. I'm going to probably sit courtside, though, because I enjoyed it the last time, and I want to go down there and sit at courtside. So yeah, that's probably the next Raptor Freak get together. If anybody wants to get together and go to that game with me, I'll bring the Jalen McDaniels card and I'll give it to you. I'll just give it to you. I'll be like, here, you want this? And you'll be like, no, I don't. I'm throwing it on the ground and walking away from it. Sixers suck. They also do. Yeah. Kesper's saying, but we got the last laugh because it got a shed and Davion Mitchell for a little bit. Yeah. And we took care of Venchenkoff for the Kings in a masterful move, showing that, you know what, you can't do this, but we can. We can hardline this guy and tell him, no, you're not getting any money. You just go on back to Greece. You just go on then. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Nameless is here. What's up, all you dirty, stinking, beautiful, wonderful people? You showed up right at the end, my guy. We're done. We're done. Remember, great Canadian meat. Get that barbecue. Get that barbecue tonight. That's right. Let me eat that barbecue. All right, let me do the rundown and get the hell out of here. That's right. Dunk for Kespra. Mitchell helped in accelerating Shed's development, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I will do that. You want to give a dunk to Kespra, you're going to get that alley-oop to him. He is going to the Anthony Parker 18 on his dunk total for the year so far. It's pretty good for a newer Raptor Freak being around just in the last year or so. All right, let's close the poll. It's going to be 58% Day'Ron Sharp, 27% Ease Missy, 12% Goga Bitaze, and then only 4% for Nick Richards. 26 votes total. So Day'Ron Sharp wins the poll at 58. Scotty will be pleased. Scotty will be pleased. That's right. Who do you want? All right, here we go. Raptors will be missing Jakob Poeltl and Chucky Hepburn. Everybody else is available tonight. I'm speculating that the Raptors will have a notorious barbecue combo to start with Brandon, Scotty, RJ, Emmanuel, and Colin Murray-Boyles as the starters for tonight. We did beat the Orlando Magic, the only game we played them so far this year. And the ESPN matchup predictor saying 54% for the Magic to win tonight. On the other side of things, the injuries are very simple. Franz Wagner is out, so he will not be playing for the Magic. Castleton is assigned to the G League. So we should see tonight Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Anthony Black, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. as a possible starting lineup for them. The referees for tonight, we have 3 referees that we've won all the games with this year. We have a 9-0 record with the ref crew tonight. Brent Barnecki is the crew chief. We're 4-0 with him. He favors the Raptors. Andy Nagy is the referee. We are 3-0 with him. He favors the Raptors. Jenna Schroeder is the third ref. We are also, I believe we're 2-0 with Nagy, 3-0 with Jenna. So yeah, and she favors the Raptors. And in fact, Barnecki, Nagy, and Schroeder all have bad records with the Magic. They do not win often with them. So it's the ref crew looks good, but I don't totally trust it because we're on Peacock tonight. We're on Peacock. So yeah, that's basically the rundown there. I appreciate everybody watching the Raptor Freak stream and hanging with me for 2.5 hours today. That's right. Let's see. Who voted for Richards? Who voted for Richards? Who was the one? Ravishing Rick Rude? He was like, oh, all you meatheads, come and look at what a real man looks like, and all your women want me. Ooh. The ravishing one. Let's see. Fiercey's laughing. And Nameless saying, I voted Dayron. Am I allowed to disclose? Of course. You don't have to. You don't have to. But if you want to tell us who you voted for, that's fine. Fiercey saying, Wendell Carter better not pull up his usual stunts, aka dirty plays. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'm sure Colin can manhandle him and throw him around, let him foul out and cry as usual. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'll enjoy the game tonight. I say the keys to the victory tonight is, listen, Raptors, you guys went on this West Coast road trip and you guys were impressive. You guys are really good on the road. Well, let's be on the road again tonight and let's take care of business. Let's hit them hard and fast right from the start and get a double-digit lead early in the game. Let's beat them like we beat them before. We can do this. We have a very good team. So remember that. And bench, y'all need to contribute tonight. In some ways, the team that gets the most double-digit scores is probably going to win tonight. So we want to have help from Grady and Jacoby. And Brandon, get him the ball. We should be able to do things all right. One of the key stats will be the three-pointers. Both teams are not necessarily the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. So that could be an area, whichever team wins, could be a deciding factor. The other thing is also we got to get back to our assist-to-turnover ratio excellence. We had a 20 assist, 20 turnover game against the Knicks on Wednesday, and that was a really big problem because that's our identity right now, is that we're a very good passing team that doesn't turn the ball over. So we need to take care of the ball tonight and not allow any extra easy transition points for the Magic because we were careless. So we need to really, really look out. That's right. Isaac's saying, I didn't vote. You voted Jakob? Okay. Oh, Kaloy voted for Nick Richards. That's fine. That's fine. I'm glad everybody got a vote. All right, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Magic tonight. And I'll see y'all tomorrow in reaction to whatever happens tonight. All right, 9:30 a.m. every single day. You can count on Lex. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday afternoon and just only good things for everybody in all kinds of ways. And you could be that good thing for somebody else too. Find the way to do it. That's right. Let's go, Raptors.